Right, see if my frames don't hate me. That's always a win.
Yeah.
Start shared chat. No, we're not.
Share chat. Fuck that shit.
No, no, we've just got the shared cameras working. Never mind
Yeah, I
shared
know.
chat.
By the way,
maybe
hi
next time.
everyone. We're live.
Maybe next time.
Okay, I was just checking my own channel to make sure it worked, and it's working. So we're
No,
at least
no,
I'm
that's
good.
fine.
I don't know about you, but I'm good.
I think mine's alive and well.
Hi everyone. I am here with Samwise Plays 96 over on Twitch. He doesn't do YouTube because he hates you. And yeah, fair. We're gonna talk about Silent Hill 2, the remake, the OG. Sam doesn't remember the OG, so I'm gonna remind him about that a little bit.
Yeah.
So this is gonna be kind of a review discussion between someone like myself who has played the original game to death and then played the remake, and Sam who has played the remake and the OG once each. As far as I know, he loved them both.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But we definitely have differing opinions on it, and we both thought it would be kind of interesting to get each other's takes on it. So does that sound about right? Just silence.
No, that's
just
right,
fucking silence.
No, you've hit the nail on the head. I had nothing else to say. Like you say, our
No
opinions
notes.
will probably be very different. Like I'm going in as a very sort of casual fan of like I've played the quadrilogy once and this once, and you've played them all God knows how many times. So we're gonna have different opinions.
True, that is true. So this is gonna be fairly unstructured. Especially since we're both.
What's gonna happen.
Yeah, especially since we're already both drinking, so you never know where that's gonna end up. But I think I don't know about you, but I'd probably. So we were talking about this earlier. I'm gonna mention this first. So. Anyone currently watching, which no one is right now because we just started the fucking stream with just like right into it. But both of our viewpoints, I'm not trying to change Sam's mind. He's not trying to change mine. I'm not trying to change yours. If you thought the game was a masterpiece, great. If you thought it was dog shit, hey, I don't give a shit.
If you thought it was dog shit, that's nice. You're wrong.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. You are subjectively wrong, but whatever. Probably objectively wrong too. But yeah, so this is just opinions, right? So if you disagree, great, good for you. Everyone's allowed their own opinion. But we thought it would be a good idea to get other viewpoints.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna have an ad here coming up here. So I'm not gonna get into the review until that's over. So I'm just gonna fart around doing.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Jack shit for a bit. I always start mine like right away, so it doesn't interrupt the gameplay. But this is very
should probably
different.
do that when I go live. And literally just run an ad right away. Start taking that as a
like no one gives a shit about the first minute and a half of my stream. No one's even there half the time. So.
Oh no, I've got an echo apparently.
Oh
no.
What have you done?
Effie's pointed out an echo. Hi Effie, by the way. Let me quickly load it.
Hi Effie.
Is it bad? Oh, mine is awful.
Yours? Do you have Discord open or?
Okay.
Oh, you probably have another stream open and the sound on. You probably have another stream open. And yeah.
I don't know. Can you still hear me?
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah.
I don't know. Can you still hear me? Okay.
Yeah,
right. I think I've cracked it. Yeah. I had my other audio mixer thing still enabled and not muted.
Yeah.
Well, the first 5 minutes of my stream is going to be absolute fucking hell to watch.
Hey, maybe more people join mine. No, just kidding. No one's in mine. Because Effie has a preference,
Oh,
obviously.
I'm so glad, Effie. I'm so glad. I'm so glad she turned up and literally said, like, fix that, because otherwise I would have let that run.
I mean,
God knows
she
how long
does
I'm gonna
have
be here.
have a habit of calling you out on shit. So
Oh yeah, all the time. Like she's in, like, how she watches my streams now. She appears at the beginning and lets me know that she's watching, and then she disappears into the shadows.
Yes.
And then as soon as someone insults me, she
Correct.
suddenly appears back in the chat and said, "Yeah, he's a piece of shit."
That is
and then
correct.
She disappears, and then
Yes.
she disappears again.
She lurks in the shadows waiting for her time to strike.
She's an assassin.
There's no hydrate because I turned it off. All right.
Oh, you turned. Oh, I haven't turned any of my shit off. Oh no.
I mean,
feel attacked. You
longest
should.
time ago. I still
You should,
have
Effie.
sound alerts and everything on. I hate it here. You love it here. Why else would you be here?
I'm gonna run out of drink.
I
I didn't. I
not
bought
plan
2
for
cans.
this
I
at
should
all.
have bought 6. No. I'm gonna sip this one. Baby sip.
just baby sips. I'm gonna nurse it. Here you go. Here's a hydrate for you.
Yeah, I should.
I mean, it's the exact opposite of a hydrate, but like, yeah. No
It's a
problem.
D. That's I need. Oh, that's actually, you've given me a good idea for a redeem. I'm gonna have a bottle of water, and I'm gonna have something that isn't. I'm gonna have a hydrate and then a dehydrate. And
Dude,
see what people redeem.
you are gonna get so fucked up so fast. Yep, things are lagging on my end. On Twitch, Twitch is fucking up.
Mine's.
At least on your stream, it was.
Mine has little blips, and then, oh god. Okay.
There goes your forehead again.
My forehead's gone again.
We're doing well so far. Yes.
We're doing brilliantly.
Oh, there's
God, what's
nice
happening
shoulder.
here? Oh, there we go. There we go.
This
I mean,
is-
I'm gonna have to occasionally fix that from time to time.
is this, yeah. Is this doing
That
this in my
always
stream
happens.
too?
That shoulder thing always happens to me. After
Why?
Effie knows, she's literally just put, every time I stream, and then let's say I do like a video call on Discord after I've streamed, my camera is always that fucked up, zoomed in on my shoulder shot. And
Nice.
I've never been able to fix it until tonight. I've actually now discovered
Oh my god.
how I actually flip it back
Jesus
to how it
Christ.
should be.
What a fucking
That's
boomer.
taken about 3 years.
You're, well, to be
I'm just gonna
fair,
have to.
Sam's got the shoulder cam, but I couldn't even work out how to get my camera to show up for the first 30 minutes. We were trying to set this up for like 20 minutes plus, and it's because I couldn't get a camera to fucking turn on.
Oh.
Bunch of goddamn boomers talking to the internet. All right.
Really mute myself then and burp, but it's fine.
All right. Down to business. We're gonna talk Silent Hill 2.
Yeah,
So
we're gonna
at some point.
we should start.
So at first I was like, oh, we should talk about these key points. I don't know if you want to do that by go through like graphics, sound design, blah blah blah, or if you just want to sort of wing it. It's up to you. I'm fine either way.
We can do. Yeah, I've got some little. I have got some like notes. Like sort of, I've got like the points that you've made,
Okay.
like the bullet points, and then I have got like little bits that just sort of steer off course, and then
Gotcha.
they
No,
go
that
back
works.
to the point.
Yeah. No, that works. So so I guess the way I kind of set it up was like the easiest stuff, the things we can probably agree on the most first, right? Like graphics.
Oh yeah, yeah. of
Like,
course.
come on. You got to be pretty
Yeah,
jaded to think this game looks like shit.
Oh, I know. Like I'm not sure what other games Bloober Team have made, but I went in thinking they can't fuck this up.
Yeah.
obviously you had the initial complaints on the trailer of like James's face, and I know that got a hell of a lot of backlash.
And it got
I know you
corrected, to be
hated that as
fair.
well.
It
It
got
did. It
corrected.
got Sonic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They Sonicked the shit out of that. I mean, not to
Um,
Sonic degrees, but still, they did some work on it.
but yeah. But the trailer did worry me with like the sort of grainy I mean, I know the original it was sort of grainy, but I suppose that was the time. But
Yeah. And there was an actual
oh
filter on the
yeah,
original to make
oh
it
yeah,
look
yeah.
grainy, yeah.
I think my worry was they were going to do something like that, especially after the trailer. But no, I think I can't fault the graphics at all. The town is
Yeah.
perfect. Like the town feels. I'm just reading my notes here.
No, go. That's what I'm going to be doing.
Like yeah, the town feels lived in. Like every
Yeah.
bit of the town has life. Like in the weirdest sense that there's no life there. Like you see it is as the mass exodus sort of state that it's in. Like you can feel it. Like you feel like you are really isolated. Like the town just visually, just like it blows you away. The fog is perfect.
Dude, the fog's amazing. Like
the fog is really
how
good.
well they did that fog effect blows my mind. It's so good. It is so good.
I'll go into when we talk about like the levels and stuff, but I'm really happy with how much longer we spend in the town before you get to the apartment.
Yeah.
Because I know in the original, you obviously if you know what you're doing, you can breeze. You literally got to go and get the key. You go to a body, you find the key, and then that's it. Like
20 minutes max.
And now it's like like 2 hours. Like for me, it was probably like 2-3 hours before I even got to the apartment.
Yeah.
Like you get to really enjoy the town this time around, and it's its most iconic look.
Yes.
Like when people think of Silent Hill, they think of the fog. I do. When it's foggy out in England, I say, "Oh God, it's Silent Hill today." I don't even call it fog anymore.
Yeah.
I say it's Silent Hill outside.
And then pair that with an air raid siren, and fuck, you're there. Yeah, but the attention to detail and everything, it does, like you said, it looks like it was lived in, and just people fucking disappeared and something terrible happened. It almost, I mean, it reminds me very much of the movie The Mist, where like some shit happened. It's a bunch of fog out now, but it looks like people did, in fact, this did used to be a tourist attraction. For the first time, you can go in the flower shop. I know everyone from the original was. Everyone wanted to go in that flower shop. First chance you got.
I did not know. Because this is one of the things I forgot until I saw it on Reddit recently. That how many sort of shops and areas were actually now open.
Yeah.
This is one thing I forgot in the original, that you could not go in that flower shop.
Yeah.
You could barely go in any of like the sort of corner shops.
Yeah. You could still go in Happy Burger and a few places here and there, but yeah, it was mostly nothing.
Is one of the main things. But then I don't remember that shop where, obviously I don't remember the broken vinyl, but where you had to go and get the broken vinyl and the glue, like that was all.
Yeah, Groovy was not part of the original game. That was a brand new thing. Cut off his forehead again.
There we go again.
Yeah.
There we go. Forehead is back.
I don't even know what you're clicking to do that. I haven't cut off my forehead once.
It's literally just my PC hates me, I think.
Oh. Is your camera like auto zooming or something? That's weird.
Yeah. It's whatever's going on with Twitch.
Interesting. But yeah. No, Groovy was brand new. There were a lot of new places you could go into. The fog was amazing. There were only a few oddities that I noticed in the entire game graphically. One was spider webs. I don't know if you noticed it too. There's only like one area where you saw spider webs, and it looked fucking weird. But that was it.
It was in.
I think it was
the apartments, or was that the first bit?
I think it was maybe in the labyrinth at some point.
Spider webs.
But it was like
I
there
know
was like
exactly what you mean.
yeah, there were like spider webs on a door. Like the whole door was covered in a spider web, and I was like,
yeah.
the edges are weird, and it's like moving. Like, where's the wind coming from? It's on a fucking door. Like, it's so weird. But and the only other thing I could even think of grasping at straws here is James' run animation is a little wonky. But that's it. But you get used to it. You ignore it. You just
you get
don't. No one's looking for 20 hours at a dude running. You're looking past him at that point.
Oh yeah.
So who cares?
Like, you notice the run down to the sort of cemetery where you meet Angela. That's probably the only time you'll think, why is he running like this?
Yeah.
And you say after that, then I didn't even know about this Comic Sans sign again. That was something that I saw people lose their mind over.
Well, do you know the backstory to that or no?
No.
Okay,
No.
so first off, it was not originally Comic Sans. So we're talking about Silent Hill Ranch. The sign for Silent Hill Ranch. In the original PS2 and Xbox games, it was not Comic Sans. It was changed to that either in the PC version or HD collection version for some god-awful reason. So, it was funny. And then I think it was PC version. And then you never saw it because you played the enhanced edition of Silent Hill 2, which removed the stupid Comic Sans. So you never even saw it.
Yeah.
But yeah, people were just joking, like, game ruined, 0 out of 10, no Comic Sans. Like, all right. Smart asses. But that's all that was.
Okay. No, that makes sense.
But they did. Dude, I swear they made that ranch as an Easter egg to Resident Evil 4. It looked just like the barn
It did.
From Resident Evil 4.
Yeah,
I was looking for a blue medallion the whole time.
Yeah.
I was like, can I shoot that fucker?
No, it really did.
Yeah.
Now that you bring it up, it literally is the spitting image of that one. I know exactly which barn you're talking about.
Yeah. Now, so since we're talking about the rundown to Silent Hill proper, I'm going to transition smoothly into sound design. Because there were some notable omissions I felt in the sound design, and one was during the rundown to Silent Hill when you're going through the actual forest and trying to figure out how to get the camera behind him instead of running towards the camera. In the original, you heard sounds. If you just kept running, you'd hear a second set of footsteps behind you. They cut that out from the remaster, and I thought that was such a shame because it was such a good, like, creepy sound.
Yeah.
And then also there was a sound of like dogs breathing as they're like running at you that they also cut out of the original.
Okay.
But outside of that, like sound design was really good in the game as well. Except for that, there was two other things that I really disliked.
Right.
But I'll go over the good stuff first. So, generally speaking, creature sounds and everything like that, sound effects, fantastic. Some of the revisions on the original songs were, I thought, better than the originals, personally.
Yeah.
But there were two things that I couldn't stand. One kind of jokingly and another seriously. So the jokingly one, my favorite song in the game is the music box. When you figure out the Cinderella, Little Mermaid, Snow White.
Yes, yeah.
In the original game, that plays as long as you're in that room. In this game, they cut it off after like 30 seconds. It's like, you motherfucker. It's my favorite song. Yeah, and they just stopped playing it. I sat in that room trying to listen to it, and they just cut it. I'm like, why? Just loop it.
Didn't it? Wasn't that the same song that played all the way up to room 312?
In the original game, but they cut it. In the remake, they stopped playing that song.
Really?
Yeah.
No, I swear mine played.
Mine didn't. Maybe it was a bug because I got another.
Maybe,
I got a
yeah.
visual bug, dude. I got a visual bug during the Angela scene with the mirror, right?
Yes.
So as she's about to walk out, as she's like, talking about, oh, can you hold the knife for me? There was a spout of water just in front of her the whole cutscene. I was like, what the fuck is this? Like, are they adding effects? But then after the cutscene was done, after the cutscene was done, the water spout was just going. I was like, what?
Wow.
It's coming out of the ceiling. I don't know where it came from.
Have you got the VOD for that?
Oh yeah, it's still on there.
Oh, okay. I need to look at that.
Yeah.
I need to look at that.
No, dude, I could probably pull it up while we're doing this. Actually, while you're talking about stuff.
Okay. Yeah.
But the only other part, and I will pull this up actually, that bugged me was during the end, during James' monologue before the final Pyramid Head fight, right? So after they stabbed Maria hanging upside down, and he's talking about how, I don't need you anymore. The song in the background for that, like in the original, it's oppressive, it's like hammering, it's like, it's almost louder than his dialogue. And in the original or the remake of the game, you can barely hear the fucking thing. That's like, oh, it's so bad. Like it's supposed to be impactful. It shouldn't be like this whimper that's playing in the background.
It needs to be powerful for that, because it's like him, like you say, it's a pivotal moment. He's overcoming his grief now.
Yeah.
He doesn't need to be punished anymore. He's accepted everything.
Like this is his rise up moment. Like, I'm accepting what I've done, and you're like, oh, it's don't worry about it. Just listen to him. It's fine. It's fine. It's like, why are you doing this?
So quickly, just to jump back to graphics, because I forgot I had another bullet point here. For me as well, like the feeling of like isolation whenever you saw one of like the creatures, whether it was like the mannequin or the zipped up body bag thing. I still don't know what that's called.
So the ones that spit are called lying figures, and then the dual-legged ones are mannequins.
Okay. So as soon as you saw either of those, it was always like a big deal.
Right.
Like that was like the sort of the feeling that I got, like every time, even like when you had to crawl underneath like the garage door, and you saw like one quickly scurry away when you opened, like, I think it was a white fence gate.
Yeah, the first one, yes.
Like, run away, yeah. Like it was always like, and even when you actually got into the town, like seeing them, it was always like a really big thing. Like you don't expect anything else to be there with you. That's how like isolated you're made to feel.
Yeah.
So, but no, graphics for me just perfect. Okay, yeah. I agree with the music. I really liked the sort of well, redos, let's say, or remixes, renditions of the songs, whatever you want to call it. I thought that, I mean, I had no worries going into the music. It would be very hard to mess up because the original soundtrack is already a masterpiece. Like,
and the original composer is back, Akira Yamaoka.
Yes.
So
okay,
yeah,
so even better. Yeah. Like if the only worries would be if, because obviously we knew they were going to change somehow the songs, add more or alter the ones that we already had. The worry would have been if they did too much to it, and I don't think they did at all. I think everything was absolutely fine. Like, yeah, it was, like you say, some were probably arguably better than the original, and I actually agree. It was always like a big moment again when one of the original sort of key, well-known songs played. Like you didn't get it like everywhere all the time, like you do with some of them.
Yeah.
I know some of the games you hear some of the music a lot. I think especially 3 or 4, you get like the songs a lot.
Yeah.
And they sort of saved it for all the key moments here. Like the reprise of Promise is fucking perfect.
Top tier.
Yeah.
One of the best, yeah.
I love that they still... So one of the big things like that I really love that they've done is they've conserved the soul of the original. They've done really well with what to keep and what to sort of innovate on. And I think the thing that they really needed to keep is the massive sort of emphasis on silence. Like when you're walking
Yeah.
through areas, you have, like you mentioned earlier about the sounds, like you could hear like a scream, you could hear like footsteps, you could hear something breaking, and you always, like if it's the floorboard, an enemy, anything at all, it'll always grab you,
Yeah.
because any other time you don't hear anything, and then you always need to, like me especially, you always end it in the point of like, to get that sort of stability and safe feeling, you need to know what that sound was. And that's where like the sort of terror, that's why they've, for that sort of aspect of it, it was perfect that they just kept it, because you need to,
Yeah.
like, you have your moments where the game, what I find, like especially when you sort of come out one of the legacy, I'm going to call them legacy dungeons because I think that's pretty much what they are, like the hospital, the apartments.
Gotcha.
You always have that little breather in between. Like for me, when you come out the apartments and you go to the park and you meet Maria, that sort of segment when you meet
Right.
Maria, that's a nice little breather.
Yeah.
Like you feel a bit safer, but then you go somewhere and then the silence is back.
Yeah.
And then you feel like, right, round two, like I'm not safe anymore. And then you
Yeah.
start hearing again, repeat, you hear the sounds and then you don't feel safe. And then obviously you encounter whatever it is. So for me, yeah, the music, they didn't fuck it up.
Yeah.
And yeah, the actual sort of sound just within the game, yeah, I'm glad they kept it as it was.
And I mean, just the keeping, I mean, this is nothing new for Silent Hill, but the idea of sounds as music is always great, because you hear like these, like, it almost sounds like screeching metal, but it's done in a musical fashion. So it's not a traditional background music. It's more of an ambient, like creepy sound. But that is the soundtrack of the game. Are these like these weird sounds that just combine and in a weirdly musical way, but it's still so creepy. But I love that they do that rather than have some orchestrated, background music as you're going through stuff.
Yeah, I'd rather them keep it as they have done and have sort of some sort of track going on. I think, like you say, an atmospheric sort of thing. If you were going through the apartments or the hospital or whatever, and you had like a little track playing,
Yeah.
it would take a lot away.
Yes. Yeah.
Just having the silence, having the noises, and then having obviously your radio static. That's all you need.
Yeah.
You don't need anything else.
Yep. Yeah, no, that it would remind you too much that you're playing a game. And
yeah, the immersion is perfect.
Yeah. And Silent Hill is meant to be oppressive. And that's what the soundtrack does to a disturbing degree. All right. What do we want to go over next? Do we want to go over puzzles, combat?
Fucking puzzles.
See, okay, we're doing puzzles. So, I do have issues with the puzzles in this game somewhat, honestly.
Same.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, let's hear your take on the puzzles first, Sam. Let's see what your issues are first, and then we'll go over mine and see if they compare.
Fucking tediousness. No, obviously the puzzles that they've kept from the original, because they've added a lot of new ones.
Yes.
Half of those puzzles I don't remember in the original. Obviously the coin from the apartments, they've sort of really built on that. They've really sort of innovated it. They've took it. You don't have to just put them in order now and there. There's like, you only need 3 coins, but then it's like,
it's a story.
You put them in order. It's like a storyboard, and then at the end you pick like who's at fault, whatever. So they've really built on that. The again, the noose puzzle, I think that was somewhat similar. You had all the crimes, and then
Similar,
you
yeah.
just had to pick. Yeah, you had
The
I'm
clock
sad that
puzzle
they
was
took.
very different.
Yes, yeah.
The original clock puzzle was get a key to the clock and then put in the right time. And then
Yeah.
they took that and they were like, no, you need to find every fucking hand. And
Yeah.
it's going to be different every goddamn time. And there's going to be puzzles in between each hand. Like, what? That took a 2-minute puzzle and stretched out to an hour and a half. That was insane.
That was me in the hospital.
Yeah.
I have more on that when we get to like level design and pacing. Don't worry.
Yeah. Yep.
But as some of the new additions I really liked. I think it was the puzzle again in the apartments where you had the numbers, like you had all the sort of markings on the ceiling, the wall, the floor,
right.
and you had to find was it the sort of
the escape room.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. That I loved. Like stuff like that I love.
Yeah.
Stuff like, oh, did you know that there's a painting in the hallway with 2 fucking trees on it? No.
See, we have slightly different views on this. We do have slightly different views on this. Because the painting ones are traditional Silent Hill puzzles. It's like weird fucking logic puzzles. And then you have other ones where it's like, do you have a calculator? Those are the ones I didn't like. It's like, hey, multiply 33 by 55 and get the answer. And it's like, dude, fuck you. Like, no. Yeah. It's not a puzzle, that's math.
My part-time job as the hotel manager, I didn't see the fucking point.
Dude, the amount of time you spent trying to find the cost of those apartments. I was like, Sam, please.
Yeah.
You kept saying you were doing what I was telling you to do, but you kept ignoring me every time I said, only read the capital letters. And you're like, but the cost. And it's like, cost is not capital. What are you doing? Stop reading cost.
I think my issue is with me and not the puzzles. I think I'm just a moron. Like, gone are the days where I can spin the labyrinth head and get it right first time, when I can use clues from another puzzle and solve a completely separate puzzle.
that still,
gone are those days.
That blew my mind.
All that ended, my bullshit with puzzles, all that ended with Shakespeare. That is when the downfall began of me playing Silent Hill puzzles.
Yeah, I was a little mad about those. Slightly. But no, I mean,
obviously playing on the perspective of obviously hard puzzle difficulty. Yes. I knew I was going to struggle. I really enjoyed. I don't hate any of the puzzles. I think I just hate myself for being stupid sometimes. But
I disliked some of them.
The puzzles that they kept from the original. Again, going in more to level design, I have issues with the labyrinth.
Yeah.
But the other puzzles, like the coin puzzle, I really like what they did with that. The sort of guilty puzzle, again, that was absolutely fine. They pretty much kept it very similar. Obviously, everyone had their own sort of crime, and you just had to figure out the innocent, whatever it was, or the guilty. I can't remember.
The innocent, yeah.
The innocent, yeah. I noticed in the hospital they moved, because that puzzle box with all the chains around it, that wasn't in the center of the room originally, was it? That was in like a bed.
Yeah.
Like on a bed somewhere.
Yeah, and it was one of those glimpses of the past that you got to see. Like you saw the remains of it, and then you still found it elsewhere. Yeah.
Okay, right.
Yeah,
For me, some of the... Sorry, I will let you talk.
No, keep going, keep going.
No, for me, I suppose some of the puzzles became a little bit tedious, especially the sort of fetch ones. I think that was probably one of my biggest issues with the labyrinth.
Gotcha. Yeah. I could see that.
I didn't mind like
Yeah. Like
I
unlock
didn't
these
mind
3
the
chains, go to these 3 different. It's like,
yeah.
okay, can
I
we
think that
not?
was my issue with the hospital box before you obviously have the pyramid head chase.
Yeah.
I think I didn't mind that one as much. I think for me though, the labyrinth one, I didn't mind building the lighter. That was fine. That was good.
That was all right.
Having a room where the ground shakes and you get stabbed through the floor and they just seemed way too aggro for my liking. That was a bit
Oh
okay.
yeah.
And then
Yeah.
room fucking area 3 that it was like what you described it as
I
the
hate it.
survival horde mode. I know. What the fuck was the point?
I have so See, I put that in a different area, but I'll talk
no,
about
no,
it
no,
now.
no, that's fine. Okay. I'll let you get to puzzles, but no. I loved how they innovated the ones we already had. I loved most of what they added. Especially, I think the puzzles in the hotel. The hotel was probably my favorite part of the game.
Yeah.
At the end, I really enjoyed the hotel a lot more than I remembered. I think the prison as well. When we get to level design, I've got a lot of things about the prison as well. But no,
Cool.
But yeah, a few issues with some of the more tedious fetch stuff. But overall, no, I think the puzzles were absolutely fine.
So I mostly agree. Obviously, we do have slightly different tastes in puzzles. I do kind of like the obscure picture stuff. Because that's classic Silent Hill stuff. It's like, the first time you read it, it's like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah. I think this is, again, me playing on hard difficulty.
Well, I did too. But I think having spent more time with these games, I'm more used to them than you. But some of the puzzles that annoyed me, honestly, was, and they did this a number of times, where the solution to the puzzle was in the same room as the clue. So, for example, in the apartment, good example, in the original game, I mean, this isn't even a hard puzzle, right? But the chute that had the garbage stuck in it, where you throw the juice down, right?
Yes.
In the original, you found the can of juice on the bottom floor next to the door that leads out to the pool. In this one, it's in the same room. You dump it into the fucking... don't even... Why even have it? Just, it's a button press. Don't... And same with, like, the bird puzzle where you had to you know...
I was going to bring that one up when you mentioned this point about everything being in the same room. That bird sort of scale thing, it was literally the same room.
And then the key that you get from it unlocks the door in the same fucking room. Why? No. Do you write down your password in front of your fucking computer?
That again, they repeat that in the warden's.
Yeah.
Is it the warden's office in the hospital?
Yes.
With the 3 wristbands and it loosens the wrist. And that key opens the door in the fucking adjoining room.
It did it that. It did it the winged key. It did it in Neely's bar. They kept fucking doing it. I was like, okay, I get not wanting like to get away from fetch quest type stuff, but this is getting stupid. This is getting ridiculous. Okay, stop giving me the solution in the same goddamn room, please. It drove me up a goddamn wall. Just as much as it did sticking your hand in a goddamn hole 5-6 times in the game.
I had an issue with this as well.
I
agree.
So this is, I'm gonna mention this now because it's gonna be a repeating theme. I feel like the game started off on a much higher note than it ended at, with everything, with puzzles, with everything, voice acting, literally everything. And I think part of the reason is because of the Sonic effect. They released that first trailer. A bunch of people had a bunch of stuff to say about it, but that first trailer was only the first third of a game. Yeah. So they could only fix that first third of a game. The rest, no one saw, so they were like, eh?
Yeah. How do
like,
we fix this bit?
like, we can't spoil the whole game, so here's hoping we got it right. And it's like, you
Yeah.
didn't. Like, I'm sorry. But that's what it was. It was, I'm going to mention it here because technically it's part of puzzles because you were finding stuff in them. But, like, sticking your hand in a hole in the first game, right? First off, in Silent Hill 2, it was supposed to be unnerving for the first time you did it, which was in the moth room, right? Where you stuck your hand in. And your controller would vibrate like something's pulling against your arm. And it was unnerving in that because in Silent Hill 1, there were instant death interactions in that game where it's like, do you want to do this? Yes. Okay, you died. Bye. And in
Really?
yeah. Well, I told you about one, but you figured out first try. It was the fridge that had the broken chain, and then you linked it with a ring. You linked it with the ring without ever trying to open up the fridge. If you opened up that fridge, you died. Just, you're dead.
Wow.
Yeah.
I need to go back and watch that.
Yeah.
I didn't.
So
okay.
for like veterans to Silent Hill, that was a threat in Silent Hill 2. It was actually nerve-wracking. In this game, not only is it like consistently diminishing in its returns of making you feel uneasy, but they added the fact that you had to hit X 3 fucking times every time you interacted with it. So by the end, I'm just mashing X like, okay, can we, James, stick your fucking arm in there. Like, nothing's gonna happen.
Yeah, I would have loved it if one of them, like, it
Yeah.
got to a point that you got so far through the game,
Yes.
and everyone, like, you got to that mindset of, like, okay, nothing's going to happen. We've done this 3 times already. He gets it. He gets what he needs, and we move on.
Right.
If one of them where it was, like, suddenly something, like, maybe grabs him and pulls him in further, or, like, became a threat, that would have really then, again, reinstated that fear of, like, maybe we shouldn't. Because I remember now with the first game, I'll have to go back and watch that fridge thing. But I remember, I think it was the first one. I remember, I don't know where it was. I don't know if it was like a motel or something. I remember we got to a point where I had to just literally open like a drawer or like a dresser.
It's like, are you sure you want to open
this? And I'm like, I was fucking terrified.
Yeah.
I'm like, I think I saved right before that. I was like, I do not trust this. I'm going to save.
You saved that save. Yeah. You're like, I'm keeping that save. Yeah.
But no, that I get that there when you say that it was a threat.
Yeah.
Definitely. It felt like a threat of like, if they added that with this one, with every hole, do you want to do this? That may have swayed people like, okay, I've done the first one. Maybe this one is like a no.
But at the same time, again, I think that's once you overuse something, it loses threat. Like, how many drawers in Silent Hill 1 did it ask you, are you sure you want to open this? It was one.
Oh, like one. That one.
And that's one. That's, I think, the biggest problem overall I have with how Bloober Team approached this game is they didn't understand, like in the original 3 Silent Hills, I can think of so many different scares that were complete one-offs. The crying child in the bathroom scared the shit, didn't even do anything. Nothing. No threat. Scared the shit out of me. You just backed up and walked the fuck out. You're like, nope.
Yeah, I was like, nope.
I'm done. I'm done.
I don't want to be in here.
The one drawer where it's like, you sure you want to open that?
Yeah, like, I just have trust issues with the original game.
No threat. You know, in one of the games, there was the sound of glass breaking as you're walking out the room, or the cat that sprung out of the locker, and then the next time it was empty and just blood. All one-offs, complete one-offs. And the original team understood that if you used things even more than once, you immediately get diminishing returns on how scary something can be. And I think Bloober Team did not understand that aspect. They're like, this was scary. How about we do it a lot? That will
Yeah.
really scare people. And it's like, no, it makes people
No.
get annoyed by the fact
Yeah.
that they're doing this stuff.
Mhm.
It's why I couldn't stand Outlast, because they kept doing jump scares, and I was like, by the end of it, like, you can go back and look at my old videos. I was bored at the end. I was running by things were popping out. I was like, yeah, okay, whatever. That was my reaction.
Yeah. You
Like,
become desensitized
yeah,
if they do it too much. And then it
very
just,
quickly.
that
And
was, again, that for me, it was things like the Mortuary Assistant.
mhm,
Games like that where it's like, it gets to a point where, you know, I mean, fair enough with that sort of game. There's only so much that they can do and have in it.
right,
But again, it's like when the lights go off, you see a window shut, you see a door slam.
yeah,
You get to that point where it's like, oh, okay, you know, this is a paranormal event. Something's coming. I'm already braced. I know something's either we're
right,
going to have the demon fly at me, the granny's going to be knocking on the window, something's going to be there in the hallway with the red eyes. You know what's
yeah,
coming, and you just go and deal with it. I know. Yeah, I know what
yeah.
you mean.
But like, because like in the original game, they didn't have a scare every 30 seconds. You had something really scary once every 30 minutes to an hour. And
Mhm.
with the pacing of that game, I mean, you could get through that game in 2.5 hours. Not easily, but you could. But, you know, between 5 to 7 hours. And
Yeah.
if you have 5 to 7 really good scares in there, you remember those. Whereas in this game, it's like, I'm trying to remember if I was scared in this game, frankly. Like, all right, like, but mine's a different perspective, obviously, because I played the hell out of the first game, or the
Yeah,
original.
yeah, of
So,
course.
but yeah, that's my biggest issue with. I mean, we completely skip right past puzzles into how
Oh,
scary
I
the
know,
game was,
no,
but
it's fine.
but that's probably my biggest issue is just as detailed as this game can be in some areas, it's like they didn't understand the game at all in others, which is weird. Um,
Yeah,
you know, like you had mentioned in your first playthrough how you had seen before that after James remembers he killed Mary, he looks
yeah,
away from when you're saving because he's
I
ashamed.
love that.
He
Yeah,
knows and he's looking away. Throughout the game, his nails get dirtier. His eyes, he gets dark spots under his eyes the further the game goes on. Like, those are very
okay.
detailed things.
Yeah.
But then there's other details that they just completely gloss over or completely miss. And I'm like, I feel like you guys just didn't understand why the game was as scary as it was, or why it was as special as it was in the beginning, because you're
Yeah.
taking these iconic moments and then you're like, oh, let's do a lot of that. It's like, no,
Mm.
that's not it. Time apart makes the heart grow fonder.
Yeah.
That's what, um, hey, Mimi's in chat. She says you
Cool.
look
I mean,
sus.
who, me?
Yeah, of course you.
It's always me. I'm gonna quickly do a story. But no, I never noticed that about the under his eyes and the fingernails and everything.
Yeah, it's subtle, which is nice. I mean, those kind of details I appreciate.
Oh
Um,
yeah, no, the looking away thing, I thought that was
yeah,
spectacular that they did that.
yep,
Even though it was literally just that one, the door of 9 saves. That's all it was. But
yes,
again, it's
best save.
memorable to me that he literally that he looks away.
Yeah,
It's something that's more, and it stuck with me. No, I agree.
yeah. Another thing they did really that I thought was really cool was when you save when Maria was around. She's like, James, what are you doing? You just zoned out there.
Yeah,
That
where
was
did you
so
go? Yeah,
good.
I love that.
That was
Yeah,
so good.
when I did that at the motel and the car,
Yep.
and she was just like, "Where did you go?"
Yeah.
I'm just like, like, yeah.
Yep. 100%. I was like, dude, that's perfect.
No, I love that. Yeah.
All right. What do you want to talk about next? I've been kind of.
I was gonna say, did you have anything else with the puzzles that you didn't like, or apart from the? I know
Um,
you've mentioned all the holes in the wall. The thing is, as well, with you mentioned about the 3 button presses. I didn't actually clock on with that at first, and then I
yeah,
realized, especially when you get to the lab, the society, and then you go down into the prison, and then the
yep,
labyrinth.
jumping
The
down
amount
holes.
of times you jumping down the holes, and you have to kit again. Just fucking jump. Nothing's gonna
Yeah.
happen.
So, since we're talking about that specifically, I am going to mention another
Yeah.
annoyance that I have with the game, which is that in the original, if you go back and watch the first hole you jump in the original, James is very cautious. He looks down, he takes his time, and he very gently jumps down with fear of bodily harm. The
Yeah.
more holes you jump in, by the end, he's just like, fuck it. Like, YOLO. Like, that's all he's doing. And
Yeah.
I was so disappointed they did not keep his lack of hesitation by the end of this. Because, first off, like you said, we know nothing's going to happen. Jump down the fucking hole, James.
Yeah.
But also, it's like, I think it, like, I think it represents a bit more in the original how he's coming more to terms with the truth. Like, he's no longer hesitant or afraid to confront the truth. Now he just wants to get to the end of it. And in this game, just continually seeing him just be such a baby about jumping down a hole. It's so aggravating. Hi, Wendy.
Yeah, it's something that I
light bulbs in a
didn't realize
can.
That about the original. But now that you mention it, like you say, if that's what he did in the original, it's a shame that they didn't do it. Like you say, if he got to the end where he was literally just yeeting himself in.
You know what?
And then, like you say, you get to the last hole and he's still really cautious about it. You got to the point where, especially when you get to the Otherworld hotel, like literally knocking on the door at the end.
Yeah.
There's still holes that you've got to jump down. And even then, at that point, like, he should just not care. Like, he's got over it.
You know what? If I were on their team, what I would have done is start off the way it did, right? Press it again, press it again. Fewer presses, one press. Last one, approach the hole and the dude just fucking chucks himself in. You don't even interact with it. It's like, nope, I'm choosing this now. You don't even have a say in it. That's what I would have done. And I think that would have been a cool, like, oh shit. Like, dude's just fucking going. But I mean, and that's something, if they really wanted to, they could patch out. I don't see them patching any of that. I think the way the game is the way the game is going to be. So, but yeah, no, that's something I do wish had changed. So it's a bit of a bummer.
Definitely, yeah. Okay.
Pick your poison.
I was gonna say, this is a fairly short but sweet one for me. Combat.
It was next on my list too. Okay.
This is one of the biggest concerns I had when watching the trailer. I think it's because I loved the. We can't live forever with tank control. I love the.
Damn you!
Controls.
I can. I will.
Like, I loved the tank controls of the original.
Yeah.
You felt as much as like. I think that's why I really have a special place for the older ones, especially the original. Like, the controls and the combat in the original, you felt so claustrophobic, you felt so vulnerable because you, at that point, like, now you have such sort of fluidity where we see it in this, like, you can dodge everything, you can dodge, but you have so much control. Whereas there, you move and then you turn around and then you lock your stance, and only then, and then you could miss. And you could fuck up, and then you feel like you're locked in your sort of ready stance. You miss, and then you're so fucking vulnerable to anything. Like, it's awful. Like, as much as the combat, as much as I really like some things about the combat now, for me, the combat was way more terrifying because like, the enemies had way more fluidity than I think you did as James. Even
Yes.
though a lot of them were a lot slower, and I have one that was the absolute bitch of the last game and are now public enemy number 1 in this game.
Legs mannequin, everyone.
Like, when I watched the trailer and we saw, because I know a lot of people say, I think you made this point before, of James is supposed to be someone who's
Yes.
not a fighter, not a
Just a
weapons
dude.
expert, nothing.
Yep.
And like we see in the first trailer that they've made him fucking Leon Kennedy. I was
Yeah.
like, what is happening? But I still think he, especially with the melee weapons, you could tell he's not done this before. You could feel it of like he really sort of overdoes his swing sometimes, and like he's literally like your average Joe. He's picked up a pipe and he's just started swinging. Like he's not done this, like he's not done this professionally before. But I do like the fluidity, the combat, like the actual fights now. As much as like in the original where you had that feeling of vulnerability. I didn't mind taking on more than one at a time. In this, if I was in a room with 2 legs mannequins, I was fucking scared. I was terrified. Like taking them on one, like, and their attacks really caught you out sometimes, because sometimes you think you could read them and you can get in, like, I'm going to get that extra third hit. And all of a sudden, especially with like the spitters,
pop ya.
they literally sit up and spit straight at you, and you don't expect it. Like, it can be so varied and random, the combat. But I like that you have to try and learn their patterns. I like the dodging. You really have to take your time with the combat, and it's hard.
It can be, yeah.
Yeah, like, again, the mannequins were my biggest problem. Not in terms of hating them, in terms of, like I said, in the last game, they would just roll over for you. They were nothing. Now they've really, like, let's make these guys have their own fucking health bar.
Yeah.
That's like,
let them jump on you from halfway across the fucking room. Yeah.
Yeah, and again, like the other enemies, like the nurses, especially some of the nurses were a pain, but
the knife wielding ones, the
knife wielded ones, the
well,
other ones,
you didn't
like the pipe or anything.
I tried to melee most of my way through. You learned really much quicker than I did that you should shotgun a nurse with a knife. Like, that's what you should just do.
Yeah.
Like, it's worth the shotgun shell.
I didn't mind the other nurses, the ones that were more sort of like otherworldly, like ones with the knives. You notice they were like, they looked a bit darker, their uniform a bit more eroded away, and you could tell they were a bit like, oh, they look a bit more fucking beefier. It did get to that point where, like, as soon as I see a knife nurse, like, shotgun to the face.
Yeah.
Just get them out of the way and done. But I do like the combat. I like that you've got to take your time a lot more. You definitely have your moments where you can feel overwhelmed, and I did, especially when it got to the point there was like 4 things in the room at once, and I had to literally just leave the room, try and get them in a single file line.
Yeah.
But I do feel you don't feel as vulnerable. I think that's why I miss the tank controls.
Yeah.
I miss, like, again, even one-on-one in the original was a threat. It's not so bad in this one. As long as you obviously take your time, dodge, master the dodge, and then literally just don't be greedy. It's literally just Dark Souls. Don't be greedy. Or you'll get punished hard.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
I have mixed feelings about the combat. And you pretty much nailed it, which is James is a dude. Like, you shouldn't be ducking and weaving like, Floyd Mayweather. Which is what it felt like. It's like...
it did, yeah.
Like, there's no cooldown. It's just duck, duck, dodge, dodge, dodge. And it unfortunately made some of the boss fights, which I thought were much improved, and we'll get to that later, a joke. Because it's just dodge to the right. That's all you do.
Yes.
You dodge in circles to one area or the other, and you shoot or hit them with a pipe. But it's like, that's all I'm doing. I'm circling a boss. And it's a shame, because I thought the the new mechanics to the bosses were so much more improved. Um, but yeah, I do wish that they kept they changed the combat where it was a bit more like, okay, this guy is not a combat vet. Um, but as a video game, I mean, it was engaging, you know? It like I like Dark Souls, I like Bloodborne. This is what that is. Like it's dodge, parry, like pick your moments kind of thing. It was it wasn't bad at all when it was one-on-one. As soon as you got more than one enemy on a screen, it, like you said, it was terrifying. It was like, I'm gonna die here. That's just all that's gonna see. For me, it was the spitters, the Lang figures. For you, it was the mannequins. But anytime there were two spitters in a room, I was like, okay, one of them is gonna kill me. Like I can't predict that. Princess Mimi says also Eddie eats popcorn instead of pizza. It was ice cream. Thank you very much.
Wow, Mimi. Wow.
Can't believe you missed that. It was strawberry ice cream. Sorry.
Mimi, you pissed him off.
Hi, Jelly. Jelly's in here too.
Hi, Jelly.
But yeah. So I mean, I am a person who, if you released a brand new game with tank controls, I would still pay full price for it. I love tank controls. I grew up on tank controls. It's bread and butter to me. Like that's what I know.
Yeah.
And you know, one of the things that tank controls really afford you is the opportunities of more cinematic camera angles. They used it a lot more in the original game, like the top down, like when you're going through the alley at first and you look at over here and then it goes top down and then follows you back around the other way.
Yes.
And it's so disorienting, but I had never, I mean, I'm sure in movies something similar to that has happened before, but I'd never seen anything like that before. Video games or movies, because I was so young at the time, I was uncultured. But I was like, that blew my mind. I was like, holy shit, that's the coolest. Like, when I first played that game, I ran back and forth in that alley a couple times to make sure it was still doing it. It was so cool to me. And that's something I think that is lost a lot when it's the over-the-shoulder RE4 style camera.
Yes.
Is you lose some of that that cinematic nature to it. I've got ads. I'm gonna still keep talking. Whatever.
No, that's fine.
They can catch the VOD. But yeah, so combat a little bit mixed for me. I get why they did it. I wish they had found a way to still keep James vulnerable, or more vulnerable, while still updating it for more modern gamers. So
yeah, no, I agree. Like I say, it's crazy how I actually prefer the tank controls. I never thought I'd say that about a game, but I think it's because I've played
one
four
of
games.
One of us.
I think it's because purely I've played the 4 games with tank controls, and I've played this one, and this one felt so weird that it wasn't one of these.
Yeah.
I think that's where it was like, I actually prefer, like you say, especially 3 and 4. I'll get onto that a bit later on about the other games in the original sort of quadrilogy.
Okay. I don't have anything about that, but man, I can add some stuff to that too. We've already touched on Silent Hill 1 a number of times, so.
Oh yeah, yeah. The fucking draw.
That's so good. I loved that so much. I mean, you know it's good when I make a clip out of it, so.
Oh yeah, definitely.
When the game's so good, even a drawer scares you.
So literally, I think because that was not too far from the end, and I think at that point I was like, I'm done. Like this game, it's literally destroyed my
Dude,
soul.
I remember that exact moment because as soon as that popped, you were like, okay, normally when the game asks you,
See,
it
this
was
is
so good.
oh, because I think I think 4 was the only one I played with like the official saves. I know I
Yeah.
sort of like
Yeah.
cheated my way through a bit with the save states with the original 3, but
Mhm.
I feel like I would have been. I already had trust issues, and I would save it there and then.
Yeah.
If I had gone from just the normal sort of save point from the original game, however far back that was, got to that draw, I would have been even
Yeah.
worse knowing
Oh
that
yeah.
I've come all this way. What if I die
Yeah.
and open in this
You're like,
fucking draw?
hold on a tick, I'm gonna go back to the motel, save real quick. I'm gonna fight off these monkeys again, and then I'll open this
Oh, I
drawer.
forgot about the fucking monkeys.
Yeah. So, real quick, Mimi says,
Oh.
do you think they will remake Silent Hill 1? My thoughts
Ooh.
are they're going to do 3 remake if this one does good. I don't think they jump to 3 because you're missing story if you jump right to 3, personally.
I was actually going to ask you this later on in this stream.
Okay, we can.
Mimi's brought it up now.
Well, do you want to do it now or you want to hold off
we'll
till
do
the
it
end?
now. Yeah,
Okay.
I was
All right.
literally just going to ask you if they were to remake another one, which one would you want next?
Honestly, oh god, that is tough. My answer would be different based on if the Silent Hill 2 reached the point that I was hoping it would.
Okay.
As opposed to what it's done, which for anyone watching, I don't think we've already said yet, but we've talked to each other. This is about hits about 90% for both of us, give or take. Like 10% of it we've got issues with. It sounds like it sounds like I'm bitching a lot about this game.
I've bitched about puzzles so far.
Yeah.
That's a fair...
but I say they hit it 90% of the mark. And a lot of what they missed, though, is the stuff that they added to it. If they had just stuck more to the original, then I would say Silent Hill, or if they improved upon what they added, I would say I would like to see them remake Silent Hill 4, because that game had issues. And if I didn't have certain opinions that we're going to talk about moving forward of things in this game, I would be like, okay, they did great in this. Let's see them do what Silent Hill 4, or let's see them remake Silent Hill 4 and turn it into the game it always should have been, right?
Yeah, I like that answer.
But with this, I'm like, well, I don't trust them to change too much.
Yeah.
A little bit is fine, but like I feel like they don't really understand the story as well as I'd like them to, and they don't understand what made Silent Hill scary. In that vein, I'd rather see them remake 1. Because I love 3, but I don't want to get into 3 until we've done 1. And that one has the most potential for a remake. Like, Silent Hill 3 looks fantastic, even in today's standards. It's an amazing looking game.
3 looks better than 4.
Yeah. They were made at the same time by different teams, but yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, 3 is the best looking game out of the original 4 by a million miles.
Maybe it's more like don't touch Silent Hill 1, Mimi says. It's part of honestly, for me, all of Silent Hill is like that. Like, I don't want you to touch it because don't.
Yeah, it's perfect as it was. We've all loved it as for what it is. Changing it too much, you have the potential to tarnish it of what people remember.
Yeah. But yeah, like if if you got a team who really, really understood Silent Hill and were really good developers, or if Bloober Team added on consultants that were really into Silent Hill lore, I'd say do 4. That would be my opinion.
I'm actually glad you said that because I agree. I think 4 was the one that, again, for me, 3 and 4, again, I was going to go into this a bit later with the fear factor. 3 and 4 for me were the scariest of the original 4. Like, 4 especially so because I never felt safe.
Dude, the first time you saw the trailer and the baby-faced enemy, was so good.
I actually watched that. You say that. Literally, it was either yesterday or earlier on this week.
Yeah.
I was going through some old clips, and I thought, I've now finished Silent Hill 4. I want to go back and watch this trailer again. Now I know what I know, and see. And I was, my face. I was fucking terrified to play that game.
I still say the trailer's scarier than the game. That is an amazing trailer. That's one of the best horror game trailers I've ever seen in my life. It's so good.
Yes. Yeah. I think, but yeah, back to your point. With 4, the one that it felt the most different.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's the one that could, like you say, it could become the game it should have always been. I loved 4, but I can see why people had issues with it.
Yeah. It has the most potential for growth.
Yeah.
It's hard to improve upon the first 3. With 4, there's room for growth.
4, there's a lot of room for growth. And with today's sort of, obviously, technology and modernizing and everything, they have the potential to make some of 4 way scarier than what it already was for me, especially the second half of the game, especially with the ghosts, with Walter stalking you, especially with the actual main ghost bosses.
Yeah.
So you had, like, is it Cynthia? You had, I forgot his name, so I'm going to call him Johnny Storm. You had...
Is that the guy who got electrocuted?
That's Electro.
No, that's
the guy
Electro.
who set himself on fire. Yeah.
Oh, right. Johnny Storm.
You had Electro, and then... But yeah, they have... Especially, like, some of the worlds, like the forest world with the orphanage on Toluca Lake, they could make that so fucking creepy.
Yeah. Yeah.
But no, I think the one I would love to see remade the most is 4. 3 is absolutely fine as it is. You don't need to touch 3 for a while. As much as I would like to see it one day, 3 is perfect as it is, and 3 holds up to today still. Like, I loved 3 so much when I played it. But again, I feel like you can't touch 3 until you've done 1.
Yeah.
So I think, again, 4 or 1 for me are, I agree, the ones I would want to see next, but 4 more so.
Yeah. I agree 100% on that.
Okay. Level design.
Okay, so I added pacing to this because there's a lot of... I started just doing level design, and then I realized a lot of this had to do with, like, pacing and overall, like, gameplay mechanics. So I'll let you go through it first, and then...
I think a lot of mine, I have, like, a huge...
Yeah, me too.
So I think
it's like half a page.
I may as well just... Mine is pretty much like 3/4 of a page, so I may as well just put them both together. So, again, I've mentioned that I'm just calling them legacy dungeons.
Right.
I really like the idea of those areas that you were kept in for a long time. But saying that, I do have issues with some of the areas about how long you were in there.
Yeah.
Obviously, let's call them indoor levels. All the indoor levels were extended. It was gonna happen to turn a 7-hour game into a 17-hour game. It was coming. Like that, they had to do
26.
I think I clocked 18, 19 at the end of mine. I thought it was going to be way longer with some of the puzzles. But again, the level designs were the levels were stunning. The apartments,
Yeah.
the hospital, the prison I've highlighted, and the hotel. Again, they made the prison the creep in the original. See, for me, the original 4, Silent Hill 2 was the one I found the least scary in
Yeah.
terms of like it's the most psychologically fucked up one.
Yes.
But in terms of fear, like scares.
Yeah.
I didn't think it. But the prison, yeah, that made me like again having all the mannequins.
Do the spider mannequins?
Yeah,
Yeah.
literally on the walls, the ceilings.
That
and,
took
like,
me
you can
by
hear the
surprise. I was like, what the fuck is that?
Freaked me the
Yeah.
fuck out. I got
That
to
was
that
a
point
very
where
good change.
I was
addition.
running through
Yeah.
the prison. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I couldn't believe how I loved the. Okay, I was going to carry on. I'll keep going back to my notes. But again, with how sort of amplified they made the levels, it was really unnerving. Obviously, you do the thing where you check every single room because even I've adopted that now. Like,
Yeah.
I made sure, even as much as I wanted, I've got what I need to get out of here.
Yeah.
But that room, there's no red line. There's no arrow saying
Yep.
I've been in it. I must go in.
Yep.
I must see if the door opens at least. I've adopted that. Like now, I just never leave a door unchecked.
Yeah.
But some of the levels were just that unnerving, especially now, like doing that because you do it. I do it to myself, checking all these rooms because you go into a room where I know there was a few instances where you go into a room, there's like a mannequin or 2 in there, and you end up taking damage. You heal, and you go in and you get a healing item. So I've literally gained nothing. I've been beaten to shit.
Now, what did you learn?
And then fair enough. I've restocked. Like, thank you for giving me this pity health drink back.
Yeah.
But like,
I used a syringe, by the way.
Oh no, that happened to me. I used a syringe and I got a drink back. I'm like, I've downgraded fucking massively here.
But funny enough, both you and I ended up with more syringes than health drinks by the end, anyways. This is weird.
Yeah, I know. I don't know how I did that.
Yeah.
I really thought it'd be different for me. I thought I'd have more drinks. I can't believe how. I think it's just the point. I never really needed the syringe.
Yeah.
But I was trying to be very sort of careful.
Try to keep topped up. Yeah.
Yeah, because I didn't mind just having a swig of the drink. Yeah, I've added the. It's always a relief getting outside, and I mentioned this earlier. Like you have that breathing period of like, especially when you meet Maria and everything's nice. You've got a companion. You feel like, oh, this is nice now. And then as soon as you get into like the, is it like the theater?
Yeah.
And where Eddie's eating the ice cream, not the popcorn.
eating pink popcorn.
Even then, like, even that's really creepy because you leave the safety of like, you go into an area and you think, okay, my little breathing window's gone, and now it's fucking creepy again.
See, the one that stuck out to me most was when you first get out of the apartment, because it's the first time that the apartment's gone into the other world, and then you come out and it's just bright, like you can't even see anything besides light, and then things come into focus and you're outside, and that's just before you meet Laura for the first time sitting on the wall. That's the one that struck me the most, when it's just like, oh, thank God I'm out of there.
Yeah, no, that was me, especially in the hospital. Even though leaving the hospital, it's pitch black night. I was
raining.
So happy to be out of that rain. I love the rain,
dude.
That
reminded me of Resident Evil, like just raining, everything's a mess, enemies.
Oh, yeah. I was waiting to see a few cars on fire, fucking Mr. X just like looking at you for this.
Stars. Fucking Nemesis comes out.
Fucking Nemesis is there as well. But no, quickly on that, everyone knows I'm a slut for rain in games, and fucking hell, I love that segment of going to the society.
Yeah.
I really, really enjoyed that.
I am
some of the.
I'm disappointed. The mannequin. I don't even know if you ever saw it. If not, I'm gonna have to pull up a clip. In Silent Hill 2, when you first go to the Silent Hill Society, I think if you go past it, the mannequin legs, they get chucked out of the forest like fucking cannonballs. It's the stupidest thing I've ever seen in my life. They're just whoop, and they just land in the street. And
No, I've never seen
dude,
that.
oh my god, I'm gonna have to pull this up, and I'm gonna send you the link, and you can watch this. I want you to watch this on stream here. Fucking hilarious! Oh my god. But that's one thing that Silent Hill has always done. Like in the game itself, everything is so fucking oppressive, but they've got a great sense of humor. Like in the original Silent Hill, after the credits, they have a blooper reel of the people messing up their cues and laughing and everything.
We don't get shit like that anymore.
They got UFO endings, a dog ending. Yeah. They got all this shit.
I can't wait to go back and do those. I really need to do those. The dog ending more so. But no, I like we don't get shit like that now. We don't get like the thing that made me laugh the most, even though I couldn't really laugh it and take it in because I was being chased. When you went down into the employee sort of basement area, when you had to get the gems before you could go into the bar in the hotel to get the final music figure.
Yeah.
You had the fucking... It's bread. I'm like...
Yeah. It is bread.
Like, I was that panicked. I was like, oh my god, I actually picked up that reference straight away. I was like, oh my god, Heather does this.
Dude, I was watching that too. And because you were being attacked at the time, and you're like, it's bread. Yeah. And then you tried to go around, and it's like, no, I want to see it again. I want to see the bread.
I wanted to see the bread. I was like, let me enjoy this. Let me fucking enjoy this. Oh.
I sent you the link. Like I sent you the link. You need to watch this. If you need to go a different scene or whatever, feel free.
Oh yeah, I've we're both on my live scene anyway. So, I've planned for this. If I full screen this and then turn off my video capture, turn on my display capture.
It's only 30 seconds long, so
That's a trippy display capture, but that is awful.
Nice.
If I change that to not capture method, change that to that. There we go.
There's Sam's credit card number.
Okay, right. Hopefully everyone can still see this. I made a mistake. It's fucking dark. I forgot how fucking dark.
Yeah.
I've never noticed that.
Hold on, it gets better. God. It gets better.
Why do I not remember that?
They just splat in the street.
That's the goofiest fucking shit.
Yeah. So
it's like Pyramid Heirs there. Fucking like, and another one.
Yeah. So it's not directly in the remake, but they make a reference to it. If you go to a certain spot, you're looking a certain way, you hear something behind you, you turn around and there's two dead mannequins behind you that weren't there before. So they don't actually show them flying out, but they reference it, which is nice.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, dude, fucking hilarious. I don't even know how I got on that subject, but yeah, that's good. Bit of levity.
That's amazing. Where was I with my... Yeah, so
we were talking about...
I think this is where I was talking about, the level design. I think this is where I was linking in with the tediousness of it and the pacing.
Yeah.
I felt like, especially this, I feel like I'm just shitting on the hospital, and I had such an issue with the hospital. I didn't. But I think some areas, I felt like they tacked on extra bits for the sake of it.
I agree.
Just to extend it, just to make the area that little bit longer.
Yeah.
Like some areas, I think the extensions work because it amplifies what's going on.
Yeah.
But I think like with I can't remember. I think because the hospital had a lot of puzzles.
Yeah.
You had the wristbands. Then
Yep.
you had the thing in the other room that was like, I mean, that again, back to your point earlier, you had the key that opened that door, and then you had the thing that you needed to open the bookshelf thing that was behind the bookshelf.
Yeah.
Was it like the safe or something with all the symbols on it?
Yeah.
That was all way too close together.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, it's basically a straight line. Like, pick everything up in order, and then you'll get through it. It's fine. If you miss something, it's only a few steps behind you. It's okay. Like, come on.
But no, some of it felt suffocating for how long you were in there. And like, I suppose that adds to the relief of finally getting outside, like you say, with the apartments. But no, I felt some of it was extended for not really any reason, or changed for not really any reason, and it took away from it. Again, I mentioned the mannequins again with my notes here. So I actually have put here.
I hate
the mannequin. The mannequin. I thought the mannequins, as much as I hated them, were the best enemy in the game due to them being assholes in a good way. This is me reading directly from my script. Like, but it was right of every room you went in, you were on edge, because as soon as you see them crouching by a toilet, trying to hide behind a shelf or like a fucking shower curtain, it's literally in the original scary movie when you have Ghostface on the phone, like laughing like, I'm in the house, you can't, and you see his legs like kicking out from behind the sofa.
Yeah,
that's what the mannequins, like, you can see them, but you see it, but you're still fucking scared because you know it's there. You know you've got to deal with it. Like, that's how I felt. Like I said, I never felt that way with the others.
We have differing encounters with the mannequins, so I don't quite see it the same way. I learned their patterns. Okay. I was just like, every time I saw one crouching, I was like, dude, what the fuck are you doing? Get out of there.
Get it. Oh, I see you fucking get it.
Yeah. What, do you think you're being cute? I see you. Like, especially when they were crouching. It's like, come on. Yeah.
The ones that got me the most, I don't know if one was like in the walk to the society. I don't know if one was hiding like under a workbench or something.
Oh.
That fucking got me really bad. But I never felt that. For the level design, their placements were really good, because when I knew that they were around,
right?
Because they weren't. I don't think they were around all the time. You had different enemies. I think that were more so apparent, especially the hospital.
Yeah, there were higher concentrations of one over another. Yeah.
But no, the mannequins. The level design with them, like, they made everything. I've already mentioned, like, checking every room. That made it unnerving. That was one of the reasons why.
Yeah.
There could be for me, there could be a mannequin in there. And I finished my point here. I've still got another paragraph, so I apologize. I will.
No, that's fine.
I mentioned already that I love how long we got in the first part of the town.
Yeah.
Before this time around.
I agree.
Yeah. It was, like you say, more stuff was open. I enjoyed. I know I mentioned some of the fetch stuff I didn't mind or I didn't like. The thing with the glue and the vinyl. Again, I have an issue. In what world would that vinyl ever fucking play?
Yeah, I mentioned the same thing. I was like, the sloppiest fucking glue job I've ever. Dude, did you just take your hand and fucking do that? Like, no, you get the edges, you wipe it. What the fuck? Like, that shit's gonna be skipping all day long. Just da 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 da.
I would have loved that as a blooper reel. He puts the vinyl in the player and he's just looking at the jukebox, and it's a really
God,
fucked up version of that song.
No, what I would like is a blooper reel of how it got that bad. Like, he does it right the first time and it just falls off, and he's like, and then he puts more on, and then he puts more on. It's like, all right, fuck it, just plaster it.
He's there sitting at the bar, like, come on there, and then he drops. He's like, and he throws it at one point. Like, fuck this.
You know what? We'll add it in post. We'll add it in post. It's fine. We'll add it in post.
Oh, that'd be great. Okay, here's all my notes that I knew I wrote down. I was looking at the one paragraph and I'm thinking, where's my notes? I made something about this. It's in the fucking next paragraph. Okay. more so on pacing now.
Yeah.
For me, the original game is superior with the pacing.
100%. I agree.
I've mentioned that, yeah, the hospital. I'm shitting on this hospital so bad. The hospital went on. For me, I'm just going to read directly from my script here. I feel like the hospital went on for much longer than it needed to, and began feeling very claustrophobic, with a lot of more potentially unnecessary puzzle additions and adding a certain rooms to get the same item that was a lot less time to get in the original.
Yeah.
I've mentioned the apartments as well, but I preferred the apartments more than the hospital. I liked what you've mentioned with the apartments going to the other world this time rather than the next building along when you do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
did like that they kept the camera, the cinematic for that. Same exact angles looking down over him going between the two buildings where there used to be a fire escape. That was really nice, but then it transitions and you're just in the opposite same building, just in the other world. Hi, Jessica.
In the other world.
Welcome in. Stream's going well. We're just talking about some Silent Hill 2.
We're fucking ranting.
We are. You'd think we hated this game at this point.
discussing the idea of how do you glue a vinyl together.
Oh my god. Dude, what? They should have consulted us, I'm telling you.
I should have done. So I've mentioned, again, just going off my script, I put the prison was perfect. I stand by that. The hotel was my favorite area in the game. I think the hotel and the prison were the two best levels for me.
Yeah. I would agree.
The labyrinth I put was very 50-50. And again, a lot of it goes towards the one area with, again, the bit with the lighter was fine. The one area of the labyrinth that I will say stood out as my favorite part, if any, of the labyrinth.
Yeah.
I think it was, I can't remember the names of the area, so I'm sorry. It was the second area that I went into where you find Pyramid Head's room. And he has that oval sort of thing where, like,
that was in the original game, yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
For me, that area was fine. But I think for me, I loved so much, and I think I got really happy as much as I was wanting to get out of there, because I hate being chased. Everyone knows it. When you use the wire cutters on the gate, you get through the gate, you run through, and you go down the ladder, and when the camera switches around, he's standing there.
Such a good,
fucking love that.
Yeah.
That was, okay, I was like, Labyrinth, okay, that's the one thing I will say, you got that right. That was brilliant. Yep. I really love that.
100%.
But again, the room with the hanging enemies where they kept earthquaking everything. But it was more so the horde mode. I really thought we were going to have to do more puzzles there rather than, like you say, like hulking it out and trying to just. It felt like a massive waste of resources for no sort of reason. But apart from that, again, but I will stand by that. I'm obviously going to make my point near the end of which I prefer, but in terms of pacing, the original wins by a mile.
Yeah. No, I agree. Like the original, like if you look at it, I mean, I'm going from my experience, obviously. I played the game for fucking 26 hours, right? It did, the original was like a guy went to a town looking for his wife, went through some shit, came to a discovery, the end. This was like, okay, when did he go to sleep? Like, I've been here too fucking long. Like, when does this man eat or take a shit? Like, he didn't do any of this stuff. But no, it is something where it's like, you can have too much of a good thing. You can have too much of a bad thing, for sure. And a lot of this stuff, like you said, was added unnecessarily. And the biggest issue I have with the remake is they threw in too many video game tropes. They threw in a timed horde mode for some reason, even though that's not what Silent Hill has ever been known for. How many times have anyone ever said, dude, you know why I like Silent Hill? For the combat.
Yeah.
That's
You only
never
say
been
that
uttered
about-
in
No.
any...
You say that about Silent Hill 4, but that's it. But that game is like heavily combat focused.
Even people didn't like that because shit broke and stuff, and
Yeah.
like no one liked that. No one likes it. Same with like they kept adding in the rule of three stuff, where like in the hospital where you had to um, uh, uh, go in the three areas for the chains on the puzzle box, and then you had the three different areas in the labyrinth, and like stop doing the rule of three, please. Like we get it.
Yeah.
Like I didn't like a lot of that stuff. Any like the quick time events where a creature would grab onto you and you'd have to mash X. I hated that stuff. It's like, and no one liked quick time events when they first started. Like, why are we still doing this? It's 2024. Can we stop mashing X? I hated that shit. Yeah, the timed horde mode was just so annoying. One thing, so this is something that I think should have been kept in the game but should have been handled differently, which were the glimpses of the past, where you'd find something that was from the original that had changed in the new one. It would change camera angle, it would play a little song, and then it would just leave you there. Because for me and you know, for the most part, we can be like, oh, well, for me on all of them, I could be like, that's where this happened. For you got most of them. Someone brand new, they're like, what the fuck is this? Am I supposed to do something? And there's no way to check what it was. You don't go back to the main menu. It doesn't have like a side by side with the old game and the new game. It's nothing. It's just like, that's something that happened. Why did that happen? You have to go online to find out. It's like, come on. Like, you're supposed to be doing this for a new audience. You're not doing this for the oldies. So I didn't really like those.
I'm glad you brought that up, because that was something I mentioned definitely there a few times on stream of, I wish you could track these. I wish there was like a journal, like, so that you had like a journal with like glimpses of the past. You can click on this one. This is where this happened. Or you had like a shot of the old game.
Right.
It doesn't even have to like, I'm not saying like go full Prince of Persia where you see like a fucking glimpse of the old game come up live in the normal
I wouldn't do that.
But like a scrapbook of like just a shot of like when you first find the radio and you first find the plank of wood and the first enemy.
Yeah.
Like a shot of that going through the fence that was sort of gated off.
So
just a scrapbook image. Like,
this is what I would do with it, right?
Yeah.
When you came across it, I wouldn't have it interactable first. I wouldn't have it where you do a cutscene and a noise. I'd have James notice it and say something like, oh, that's odd, or I wonder what's back there. And then end credits, it would play like this and the ones you found next to each other from the original and that. So you could see, and you'd be like, oh, that's what he was talking about. This was from the original game, and this is where it changed. That's what I do. Because then it doesn't interrupt. It doesn't take you out of the moment for the people who know what it is. It doesn't confuse the people who don't know what it is. And then it actually references it for anyone who's forgotten or doesn't know what it's in reference to. It's very out of the way. It's not in your face. It's just like, hey, this is something cool. This is a little Easter egg. So that's what I would have done personally. And I wish they did. I can't tell you how much I hate the new notes that they added into this game. Like right away, right? You go into the flower shop, right? And the first note you ever find in this game is like, oh, that guy came in looking for red and white flowers. I told him it was bad luck, but he just seemed confused and he walked away. He said he'd be back for him. It's like, okay, that's clearly James, because the red is for love and white is for death because he killed his fucking wife.
Yeah.
Like, why are you shoving down everyone's throat right away that this is who you're talking about? Like I
Yeah,
hated, and there's so many of them where, especially in the early game, where they're like, even signs, like in the laundromat, there's a sign being like, you know, use this detergent to wash away the past. And it's like, motherfuckers, could you shut the hell up, please? Like, why? Like, do you really think the audience is this stupid? Like, Jesus Christ.
you, you walk into the flower shop, the first note, I think this guy killed his wife.
Seriously, you might as fucking well.
Like, I pressed the panic button under the counter.
Like, some guy named JS killed his wife, I heard. Like, what the fuck? Like,
I saw this guy constantly look at the back seat of his car. We need to keep an eye.
Seriously. Dude, I can't tell you how much I hated. Like, don't fuck with the story. That's the only thing you had to do is don't fuck with the story, and you started fucking with it. I hated it so much. It drives me up a goddamn wall that they do that. So because the first game worked so well, and I'm gonna jump a little bit ahead on something else. The first game worked so well because the ending was such a surprise. You didn't expect James to kill his fucking wife. And that's why I'm so adamant about them cutting out the first 30 seconds of the cutscene in the remake. You should not have him, like, sweating, worrying, you know, rubbing his hand like something's wrong, him shaking. Don't do that. If you want to add that extra little bit of lore on to New Game Plus, go for it. You know, see what he looks like as he's doing that. Don't do it at the start, because when you do that, the viewer automatically doesn't trust the guy you're playing as, and that ruins the surprise at the end. It ruins the ending. If you're paying attention. If you're not paying attention, good for you. Not trying to call anyone stupid, but but no, it's like, why are you trying to give away the ending that's supposed to be a surprise? You know, like it doesn't make any sense to me. It's like you're shooting yourself in the foot with that kind of stuff.
No, 1,000,000%.
The last thing I kind of have on this, I think. Not the last thing.
It's okay.
One of the last things I have, is, can we stop with every time we pick up an item, doing this with it for 30 seconds, looking at it, making sure we get all the angles, and like, especially when the game doesn't pause and there's enemies in the room while you're trying to pick something up and get the fuck out of there. Like, is this James's top priority, is to see the craftsmanship on this key? Get the fuck out of here. Just pick it up and go.
It's like it just reminds me of GoldenEye. And like, when you pause it and he's there looking at his watch.
Yeah.
This is everyone else fucking around. Like, he's looking at his watch. Quick, we need to wait for him. He's checking the time.
Is he okay? He just froze.
you got two mannequins just like look at each other. Like, what do we do?
Should we call a doctor? I think he just had a seizure. What the fuck? James.
Like, I didn't know though until again I saw it on Reddit. Reddit has filled me in on so much. That you can be hit out of that.
Yeah.
If you're looking at an item, looking at a note, if there's an enemy there, they will hit you out of that little sort of focus screen of actually looking at it. I didn't know that.
Yeah. No, it doesn't pause. It's just like, James is just, what a cool key. Like, get the this was something that was cool when they were trying to show off, like, and no shade at the modelers for the game. You deserve to have your work looked over closely. Do it in a main menu screen or something. Don't do it in game. It doesn't make any goddamn sense.
So I was just quickly checking the sound.
Like, are we playing Silent Hill or are we playing LA Noire? Thank you, Mimi. Exactly.
Yeah, no, it should be like in a moment of like, they shouldn't have done it with the areas where you're safe and there's no enemies, like there's guaranteed no enemies, then do the thing. But like you say, if there's someone chasing you, you pick it up and it just comes up on the screen, acquired, and then you're still moving.
So
You haven't stopped.
I'd go so
Yeah.
far as to say add an extra layer. Like if you pick it up and you need to manipulate it somehow,
Yeah.
then do it, because it's like, oh, this is weird. Maybe I need to turn this or do something with it. But a key, you don't need to look at a key. It's, oh, that's a key. It says room 203. Put it in my pocket. Okay, let's go to 203. Like, how many times have people handed you a set of keys and you're like, wow,
Yeah,
that's a key. Couple others. So another thing I wish they didn't do was anytime you came to a puzzle that needed something else, they'd show you the outline of it. Do you really need to hint at what needs to go there by giving me the outline of whatever needs to go in there? It's like I'm playing on hard mode. I'm playing on hard puzzle mode. Why are you giving me these hints?
The thing that correct me if I'm wrong, but did they do that for the mirror in the hotel with all the shattered glass?
I don't know if they did or not with that specific one. I know they did it with like the valves, with the birds on the.
Oh yeah, the birds. Yes, they did.
That. I pretty much anytime you needed to place a thing somewhere, they're like, Yeah. It's like, I got hard puzzle mode on. Turn that shit off.
The weights at the prison.
Yeah, the weights as well.
You had that. I know what you mean there. You had the sort of like.
Yeah, like the silhouette.
It should just be the silhouette. Yeah.
It's like I don't need on medium or easy difficult. Fine, go for it. Hard puzzle mode should not have that on there. You should figure out what's on there. Same with combining things. It shouldn't tell you how many things combine with this thing when you don't even have those other things. Like James just knows that. Oh, that's one of 3. Like, no! How does he know that? Get out of here! It's so stupid.
That's why I played on retro. I wanted to be like completely alone as possible.
Exactly.
Like, no hints, no nothing. Just let me fucking figure this out.
And that's what's so disappointing is because they even made all those adjustments to the UI and everything, but they didn't even think to do like, oh, maybe someone wants to figure out a puzzle on their own instead of us telling them what they need. You know?
Yeah.
Then the last thing I have for this is it if it happened once or twice, I wouldn't have minded. But it happened as many times or more. No, it happened way more times than sticking your hand in a fucking hole. Enemies running away from James to show where to go. And the number of times I saw a mannequin, I'd go in a room and it would fucking sprint over there. Like, chase me! Like, what?
Yeah.
Can we not? Like, that didn't happen once in the original game. They come at you.
It didn't.
Like, why is it running away from me? Get the fuck out of here! Like, catch me, James! Like, no, get out of here! Why are you doing this? I hated it. And I called it out every fucking time it happened after, like, the second time. Oh, it annoyed me so much. And is
it really bad? Is it really bad that I actually didn't pick up? But that's what they would do?
It is, yes.
I thought they were just running for backup or something.
That's even worse. Help! He's coming.
Like, follow.
The wife murderer is coming.
Follow me into this room where there's more of me.
Yeah,
like that's what I thought they were doing. It was like a trap.
Yeah, but no, I was like, if you have good level design, you don't need to do this. And if it's for backup, it's not scary. Like, stop it.
Yeah.
But that's the last I have for that. That was just nothing but bitching and complaining.
Yeah.
The game's very atmospheric.
As much as they were running away, it's very atmospheric.
And I was able to get into the flower shop. Those are 2 nice points to end
That's
on.
a big point, yeah. It's a big green point that for a lot
Yeah.
of people, I imagine. The flower shop was open today.
Oh, fucking hell. All right, so I
Okay.
mixed in enemies and boss fights together. If I don't know if you want to go over that, because then so what I've got left
Yeah,
here,
that's
right?
fine.
I'll go over what I have left that I want to talk about is enemies, boss fights, cutscenes, voice acting. Those are the last ones that I'm really have.
Yeah, I've got boss fights. I've got voice acting, but I never actually got to fill in my notes with the
Okay,
voice
that's
acting
fine.
because I think I was ill. So I'm literally gonna just ad lib on that one.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I ad lib on a
And then
lot of this
I've got
stuff.
the my sort of short, sweet few sentences on the characters as they were
Yeah.
in the remake.
Okay.
And then I've got my even though I've mentioned it, I think we've already covered this now about the fear factor, and then obviously my final point was, do I prefer the original? If I was to pick one to play again right away, which one would I play?
Okay. Works for me.
But no, we can do boss. We can add, obviously do yours as well because I can just sort of jump in. But no, boss fights I've actually got down as well.
Okay. All right. Do you want to
go? Yeah. I actually don't think I agree with you on the points that you made earlier. With some of the boss fights are a lot easier because of the combat changes. But I've absolutely loved the boss fights in this. The first encounter with Pyramid Head.
Yeah.
I mean, that was really, really cool. I loved the original probably a bit more, being in that really small fucking tight room.
Yeah.
Because it was like out of nowhere. He was there. I don't even remember there being a cutscene when you open that door. He's just there.
Yeah, I don't think so. It was just. I think he was even off screen at first, and then you were like, "What's happening?" And then, oh shit!
And then it's like, then you are like in a moment of panic. With this one, it was like, I mean, it was a cool first cutscene.
Yeah.
With him, I remember when I played through the apartments and he's standing there when you actually first see him the first time. He's standing on the other side of the gate. I never went up to him. I actually went and did the thing I needed to. I came back and he was fucking gone. I was like, okay, I've missed that little run up to him and have a look at him. But
that sucks. Mind. He was a lot closer. He was a lot closer. He was like right up to the fucking gate.
Okay, my next run through, I'll make sure to actually run and do him. That's it. No.
I thought that's what Mimi was into.
that was the worst choice of words ever. Okay.
Channeling your inner Mimi.
My two favorite boss fights were Abstract Daddy and Eddie.
Gotcha. I knew Eddie was in your top.
Eddie's fight in comparison to his original, I thought his new fight was a lot more terrifying this time around.
Sorry, Mimi wasn't happy with my...
No, it's okay.
comparison.
I can go more. I've got more to say about Eddie's when I do like his little sentence of it
gotcha.
Later. But no, I thought, because I know you mentioned earlier that you hate it. I think that's how I tried to explain it, but you explained it a lot better than I could say it with the sort of rule of three.
Yeah.
Of like why I hated some of like the fetch stuff and this, that. The rule of three with the boss fights, the stages, I thought it worked. I really like Eddie's where obviously it started out and then I think it got darker.
It got foggier. The fog thickened. Yep.
And then you obviously had the body bags start moving as well.
Yeah.
Like, I just loved how way more terrifying his fight was.
Yeah.
This time around.
It was a lot more threatening.
He turned from like a 2 out of 5 to like full on 5. Good God, you are really in danger this time around. I think with Abstract, I think it was just how much more. Like, I know you were saying like the developers were spoon feeding like, oh, he killed his wife. Did you know that? But I
Yeah.
think the design of him, they really wanted to make you realize what the
Yeah.
fuck this thing was, and it was. I actually enjoyed it as much as because I know originally it was just in that one room where, like you say, where this time around
Yeah.
the level sort of descends into what the room was eventually, like straight away in the original.
Yeah.
I actually kind of liked the sort of running around the corridors, being chased, and sort of you have the extra little bits with. I'm assuming it was her dad on the TV static saying
Yes.
the few things. I like to add that. I know
And
they again trying to make it more obvious for new people who
yeah.
might not have picked it up immediately of like what her backstory
And
was.
then her closet
Um,
that she'd hide in as well.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah. So for me, yeah, Abstract and Eddie were my two favorite fights. I didn't really like Fleshlip this time around.
Oh, really? What about it
Um,
didn't
I
you
think
like?
again, I think it was the dodging.
Yeah.
I think again the tank controls took away from like
There's
the
also only
fear
one
of
of
that
them.
one.
In the other one, I think there were
Yes,
3 actual enemies, and this one it was just the
yeah,
one.
it was just the
Yeah.
one. I don't know if it. I think it was it Fleshlip where I like the stages of Fleshlip, especially
Yeah.
when he have like the metal arms. Was that
Yes.
Fleshlip? He spins. That
They
was fucking
they
crazy.
added that to him and to the final boss at the end as well. Like
Yes.
the bed frame actually became arms and was like swiping at you. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, but no, I thought maybe that's why. Maybe because I thought maybe the original there was more. You've brought that up now, and I think that's
Yeah.
what I was probably thinking. I've actually had to Google what this name was of this fight. The Mandarin.
Oh yeah, the Mandarin. Yep.
I love that of how fucking out of nowhere that came.
Yeah. It was a surprise for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was like absolutely not expecting that. You're new. Holy shit. Okay.
Yeah.
Again, the dodging made it a bit of a bitch because it
Yeah.
was literally, oh no, they're gonna pounce.
Yeah.
Fucking cha-cha real smooth, and you
Yeah.
just fucking slide to the left and like you're
Cha-cha.
fine.
Bam.
Yeah.
Cha-cha. Bam.
um, the dual pyramid heads, yeah, just amazing.
You can't.
Fucking
Them
amazing.
chucking spears at you this time like fucking
Yeah.
javelins. Yeah. I was like, oh, that's new. All right.
I get lost.
Hey, Gothic, how you doing? Sorry.
They couldn't have ruined that fight for me, and they didn't. Mary, again, this time around, I loved what they added with the descending floors,
Yeah.
especially the stage 2 when it was literally the corridor. I don't know what the fucking moths were all about.
That was in the first one as well.
Was it?
Yeah.
Okay, that's me. That's my bad. That's my ignorance
Yeah.
for forgetting that. But no, overall, I did. Again, Eddie and Abstract were my two favorite bosses.
Yeah.
I love the pyramid head fight, but they couldn't have fucked that up at all, and they
Yeah.
didn't.
Yeah.
I know you're going to go on to cutscenes, so I have a few cutscenes to bring up.
Yeah.
But no, the only boss that I didn't really enjoy was Fleshlip. Everything else was absolutely fine, and everything else that was enhanced upon or amplified, I loved.
Cool. Yeah, I mostly agree. I thought the concepts of all the new boss fights for the most part were better, but yeah, because of the combat, the execution, it wasn't as threatening or it wasn't as fun. Like I think in my playthrough, one of the boss fights, I was literally making a joke out of it. Like, okay, let me just step over to the side here and then shoot you. And that, okay, let's just keep circling around you, and there's no sense of danger here whatsoever. And I learned that pretty quickly, that you could do that, you could spam that with all the bosses.
Yeah.
So, but when Fleshlips first dropped from the ceiling and like was walking and slicing at you with its arms, because it didn't do that in the original, it was always from the ceiling. I was like, holy shit, they actually like did something different. So it, like, that instant where it was different was really memorable to me. but then
Okay.
the actual fight itself was disappointing.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, that's fair.
I did think the first Pyramid Head fight was cool the way they did it with, as time went on, like bits of the ceiling were falling down, like things were crumbling around it.
Yeah.
As he was getting closer to fucking off. I like that they kept the fact that you could just wait him out. You didn't have to fire a single bullet. But shooting at
Thing that I
yeah,
forgot once.
yeah, but shooting at him sped it up.
Yeah.
So that was really cool. I love that they kept his design the same as the original game and not his movie version. If you haven't seen it, you should.
Okay. I was going to say,
Google,
let
yeah,
me quickly
Google
load
it.
this. You've mentioned this point so many
Yes.
times, and I've not literally seen what he looked like.
He
in the movie.
doesn't look bad, but it's just not the original Silent Hill 2 guy.
Which movie is it? A particular
the original one, just Silent Hill.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
2006. Okay.
Yeah, you could probably just type in like movies Pyramid Head.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, just type in movie Pyramid Head, and first picture you find will be him. He's very pointy.
Movie Pyramid Head. To say, is it the same picture that I'm looking at? Oh, okay. No, these are different pictures. Okay.
Yeah.
He's very fucking buff, isn't he?
He is jacked. He is. Yeah.
He's fucking shredded.
He is not natty at all. Yeah. That dude is fucking ripped.
Good God.
Yeah. I mean, that's what apparently movie-going audiences want. So I was very happy about that. Yeah. So I was very happy about that.
Yeah.
Mimi says it's so disturbing in the game. Pyramid Head is scary, and in the movie he's hot. See, this is why you have no cause to glare at me like that, Mimi, when I talk about you wanting to bang Pyramid Head. Abstract Daddy was also highlight, although what I am going to say, like, they were this close from going on too long with the chasing portion of it. Like, I actually started in my playthrough saying, okay, this is going on too long, before just as they hit the actual fight. So I think they might have pushed it a little too long. But I do also enjoy that it was much different. It added some backstory. I don't think in the final room they still had the like holes in the wall, but I don't think they actually had the pistons moving, which I thought was I'm not gonna say it's disappointing because it's disturbing, but you know, it was symbolism for a reason.
Yes.
But so I do kind of wish they had kept that portion of it. Yeah, Dodge made things a joke. The last boss was kind of unremarkable because it was very similar to Flesh Lips, but it's meant to be, because Flesh Lips in the original game is basically the Mary boss fight at the end, minus a trick or two.
Yeah.
And then we've already touched on a lot of this, but I'm gonna gloss over it really quickly about like the enemies overall. So the lying figures, the ones who you first meet, the spitters, they're always classic. I do wish they didn't add like the zippers onto them. I wish they kept them just flesh, you know.
Yeah.
I do like how the otherworld versions of all the enemies were stronger and had different things. Like with the lying figure, when you killed them, they erupted.
Yes. Yeah.
You actually had to back away. You couldn't just sit there and step on them for 30 minutes straight. New boss fight was awesome. The Mandarin.
Yeah.
Was not... I didn't personally like the hiding mannequins myself. But the spider mannequins were creepy as hell. Good job, Bloober.
Yeah, they made the prison what it is, like terrifying.
Yeah,
if there was none of them crawling on the door, the
the
sort
walls
of
and
cells
ceilings.
on the
Yeah,
walls and the ceilings, if there was none of them,
yeah,
it would have taken a lot away from
yeah.
the prison. If it was
Um,
literally just the empty, if they were just empty sort of corridors, yeah.
yeah. I one thing I didn't like about that area though was the lights on a timer. It makes no fucking sense. It's a game mechanic.
Yes. Yeah.
I hated it. It's like, what prison have you ever gone to where you turn on the light and you got 60 seconds. It's gonna go out after that. Really? Like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Once again, like the video game trope mechanics, keep that shit out of here. Like, you don't need it in. Silent Hill was never known for its video gamey design. It was, in fact, most people didn't like it as a video game when it first came out. I posted reviews on Sam's Discord, I think, about it, where it got like 70s and it was like a great fogging disappointment. It's like, all right.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, keep that shit out of it, please. Like, we don't need it.
No, I actually completely forgot about the lights on the timer.
I hated those fucking timers. I hated those timers, man. It would be one thing if you turn them on and like, it overloaded and then they burst and then they were gone for the rest of the playthrough in that area. Like, there were one-time use, you overloaded it, something like that, but turn it on, 60 seconds. Turn it on, 60 seconds. Okay, fuck the lights. I'm just running. I don't care.
I think I did that eventually.
Yeah.
Like, I just kept running through the docks. There was no point.
Yeah. Like, I'm not going to fight them anyways, so whatever.
Yeah. When it got to a point where I checked all the cells, I'd got everything I needed, I'd gone through all the wall cracks and everything, and it was literally just going back to the weights, the scales, just to open up a new area. What the fuck was the point in the light?
Yeah. Besides, they're so fucking wily, I couldn't hit them anyways. I couldn't even shoot them until they already hit me and were on the ground somewhere, so.
Yeah.
Then I just mashed melee.
My biggest fucking gripe with them.
Yeah. That's all I got for bosses and enemies.
Okay. No, that's fine.
I'm gonna go, I'll let you go. Do you want to do next?
I think you had a few extra things here. You had so for mine next on my list now was voice acting, but I think you said you had cutscenes.
That's the only other one I have. Yeah.
Yeah. We'll jump onto that. That's fine. I didn't have that one written down, but no, we'll do that one.
Okay. Do you want me to go or do you want to?
You can lead on
Okay.
this one. Yeah.
All right. So I already mentioned the first 30 seconds of the game, which sucks.
Fucking refund.
Dude, I fucking hate it. So one thing that was kind of cool. So I noticed this right away. You might not have because you only played it the one time years ago. But in Mary's letter in the opening, I'm gonna keep bringing that up forever. I
know, literally, I was going through my Twitch again earlier this week when I was watching back the old clips, and I was like, how long ago was it I played the original? It was over 2 years ago that I played the original, and I've played the other 3 within the last 9 months.
Yeah.
I've played the other 3 games.
Yeah. It was like 2 years between Silent Hill 2 and 1.
Does everyone remember this game that I played?
Yeah.
We're back.
Yeah. For all you Silent Hill fans who have nothing better to hope for, because we're not getting a fucking another one. But in the original cutscene, after Mary reads the portion of the letter, and James starts with, "I got a letter." The name on the letter said Mary, my wife's name. There was a section in there where he was speculating on what she might have meant by their special place, and he's like, "Did she mean the lake by the park by the lake? Did she mean this?" And they cut that out. But what they did was they added it, part of it at least, to a new cutscene after you fix the music the record player, and you start playing it, and then it goes to shots of Lakeside Park. That cutscene specifically was beautifully done, I think. Like, just showing glimpses, like the chessboard with the leaves on it, showing just the glimpse of Mary's hand with her skirt and her pink whatever.
Yeah, no.
I don't know clothing. Yeah. I thought that was beautifully done. I am Sam is a fake fan because he didn't play it 20 years ago, says Jelly. That's true. Don't you let anyone else tell you otherwise.
When I was 5 years old. I really didn't need that fucking trauma when I was
Oh my
5.
God. I mean, you wouldn't be scared at any game after that, trust me.
Oh yeah.
Something I hate to say it, I am disappointed by the cutscenes is their lack of creativity to the camera angles, like to the point that they removed camera angles. Like specifically, I remember with Eddie just before you fight him, right? The scene where he's like, doesn't matter if you're smart, pretty, rich.
Yes. Yeah.
It just static fucking camera on him. In the original game, it was going to different angles and shit, showing that he's disjointed. It's like, what the hell is this? Like, do something, please, to enunciate what he's doing. But there's so many angles or so many cutscenes where they just leave the camera just completely static while someone's talking. It's like, could you like do that? Like something, anything?
Yeah.
Like, and it's really bad because I just started playing Alan Wake 2. Those cutscenes are fucking amazing. And looking back on the remake here, I'm like, oh my God, these are horrible comparatively. Like the only good ones are where they kept the weird angles from the original game, like when you're crossing between the apartment buildings and things like that.
Yeah.
But for some odd reason, they decided to do less in this game than what they did 20 years ago. So I thought that was a bit disappointing with that kind of stuff. That's mostly what I have. The scene with the new scene with Maria talking about the saint, patron saint of love, who's on the island flashing a light.
Yes.
It was nice, probably unnecessary. I didn't mind it, you know. The new scene with Angela as well in the park. That was also I had mixed feelings about that because I thought that also pushed into the territory of trying to give away the ending too soon.
Was that on the way to the society?
I believe so. Yeah.
Standing in front of the statue.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I know which one you're talking about.
So it's like I had mixed feelings because I was glad to see more from Angela, but I was also like, I think you're giving away the goat here a little bit.
Yeah.
So I had mixed feelings about that, but I was okay with it overall. But that's pretty much all I have on cutscenes. The rest is under voice acting. So, your thoughts, Samuel?
I'm just trying to think back at the cutscenes I really, really liked. I think I mentioned it to you. This is where I need to go back and watch some of the older ones. I mentioned it to you before the double pyramid head fight. I fucking love that cutscene again. Like, I think even more so this time around. I know you mentioned about the music like being less impactful, but I just loved James in that cutscene. I think more.
Gotcha.
I think he was just I I think he just portrayed way more emotion. I think.
I
But
have
again, this
mixed
could be
feelings, but
me.
yeah.
This could be me forgetting the original. I might load up the original
There there was there was only
and have
one
a look.
line in there on the remake that I wish he did a little more forcefully, and it was the um this was in the voice acting portion, the
Okay.
leave her alone, leave us both the hell alone. In this
Yes.
one,
Yeah. Yeah.
he's saying it defeated, almost saying it to himself. In
Yeah.
the
Yeah. Yeah.
original, he's yelling it at them. And I kind of preferred the yelling at them. Everything else, I agree. Like I thought that scene was fantastic. Like the way he dropped down and slammed his fists into the ground. Like he showed a
Yes.
lot more
Yeah.
emotion. Um,
I'm actually gonna load up the original one. While I do that, the other is actually all Pyramid Head scene comparison. I might load this one up because it's
hey,
actually remake and original. I loved a lot of the. You mentioned the new scene with Angela.
yeah,
I actually really like that one. Dave, I think a lot of this goes into more like the character stuff that I got down. I think the aftermath of the daddy fight,
yeah,
I think that's Angela's voice actor's best performance.
no,
Um, I think that cutscene was way more. I think because of how much more the I know we lost a bit of the symbolism with the Pistons, like you say, but I think with how much more they've
yeah.
hinted at it, with obviously the static on the TV, this, that, and the other.
Also with
I
just
think
also with just how clearly what the abstract daddy is. Like
yes,
in the
yeah,
original game, you kind of, if you didn't know, you had to kind of be told. In this one, it's like, oh God, that's what that is. Like you don't even have
yeah,
to be
yeah.
told anything.
Yes, no, definitely. I just think her like just running over, like kicking it, put whatever she did. Like I just think, yeah,
Yeah,
the emotion in that is way like really, really good.
yeah.
It's one of my favorite cutscenes.
I mean, straight
Um,
up, Angela is probably my second favorite performance in the game.
ooh.
Dipping a little into the voice
I'm,
acting
I,
here, but
yeah, I'm curious to know now who your favorite was. I think I have my. Did I note down my character who I think my favorite was? I have
okay,
two that I would put as the top as the best characters in the remake.
gotcha.
Again, this is me being ignorant and not remembering them the first time around.
No,
But I've got the two outstanding performers of the remake. Right, I'm gonna load this up now. The all Pyramid Head scenes comparison of the original and the remake. Because I really want to watch this because I don't know what the sound. I've just literally just picked this one. I don't know what the fucking sound will be like, but you know,
I'm gonna
we'll roll with it.
I'm gonna catch it on the delay with the rest of your chat.
Oh, they've literally done them side by side. It's actually helped a lot. I always found it funny how really fucking goofy it looked when in the original he started shooting him. And in like in the remake, it's so much more fucking menacing when like you're shooting him and he just stands there and he's just like, who threw that pebble at me?
Yeah,
Oh, it's so it's so creepy, the new one.
I still have no idea why he grabs his mask like that.
No.
And they did switch when he does it too. Like in the original, it's before James shoots him. like he's trying to peek out of his mask to see if James is in there.
I love how quick in the original he just fuck this. He pulls it and starts shooting straight away.
Did you also notice, like, in order to make sure you didn't lose any ammo, he finds ammo and he loads his gun in the original.
Oh, okay. No, I didn't see that.
Yeah. Yeah, if you go back, he actually loads his gun with ammo that he finds.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
But
he just unloads a whole fucking in the remake.
The whole
he's just
clip.
there like doing pot shots. He's there fucking panic. It's me in games.
But that's
the original.
that. I'm not sure how I feel about it, honestly, because in the original, he is clearly scared shitless, like James is. In the new one, I don't get that sense from him. I don't really know.
Way more, The original, he was straight into the closet.
Yeah.
As soon as he walks in and sees what's going on.
And then he sees him come at him, and he's like, "Oh fuck! Shoot! And don't stop shooting!" And then in this one, he's like, "I'm hunting rabbits."
I'm curious to see what. Now, this was the one that they completely changed this, didn't they? The hospital scene.
Yeah, completely different.
It's no longer throws him off the roof.
Correct.
Yeah.
He throws him through the floor instead, through that door, but yeah. Also, the difference in the original game, when you wake up, you are a sliver from dead. And you need to use a healing. True. You need to use a first aid to get back to decent health. The remake, they didn't do that.
Again, like you mentioned the little things that they took out. I don't know why they did that.
Yeah.
It just makes it a bit more threatening, like, oh, he might be here. For those who don't know, like, oh, he might be here now.
Yeah.
And there's like health gone, like Jesus.
Yeah.
You have just fell like 3 floors.
And that's another thing about what I was talking about earlier. Sort of like with one-offs. Whoever expects to get whoever expects to get hurt in a cutscene or potentially die in a cutscene. You don't.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, this will be fine. And in Silent Hill 2, they're like, no, we're gonna fucking hurt you, and it's gonna cost you a lot.
Again, adds to the thing of, the draw.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, like a cutscene has hurt me. Like,
yeah. What's this drawer gonna do?
Yeah. What's the fuck's this drawer gonna do? Yeah. I still love the original of that when the room unfloods.
Yeah.
Oh. I fucking never forget this chase in the original. Jesus Christ. I bolted and left Maria for fucking dead.
So this chase, I actually wanted to specifically highlight it.
Okay.
So first off, I personally felt like the original was a lot, and like you said, I think because of tank controls and angles, it was a lot more threatening in the original than in this one.
Yes, I agree.
And what's worse is Maria lagged behind. In the remake, she's ahead of you until a cutscene teleports you in front of her. And then all of a sudden he's like, fuck you, Maria. There's an elevator. But if it shows it, like I said, I'm lagging behind. So the desperation in the original one is better, but the way she dies and gets pulled back from the spear fucking blew my mind in the remake here. But then her death in the remake didn't have the impact it did in the original because of James's animations and the fact that the music kicks in right away in the original. Whereas they don't do any music until the doors open in the remake. And he's just looking. He's just sitting there. Like James in the original, he's like slumped. He's against the...
Yeah. He's completely fucking defeated in the
Yeah.
original. Like, he's devastated.
Right. So when I got to this point, I was like, I don't feel as bad as I remember feeling for her dying.
Yeah.
And now after preparing for this, I know why. It's because it was just handled not as well as the original.
I remember like feeling so bad
Yeah.
in the original game purely because I felt like I ran off from her and
Yeah.
she died. And I remember panicking like, fuck, do I reload my save and go
Right.
back and save it? Because I felt awful that
Yeah.
she died.
Yep.
I know I have a tendency to leave people in games.
You do.
But like in that,
this has been well established with video evidence.
I felt genuinely awful in that cutscene. And like you say, it doesn't hit the same in the remake.
It doesn't at all.
Totally.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. This is my one of my goats. I need to see this now. I think the sound's muted on the stream, but it's fine. See this now. I think the sound's muted on the stream, but okay, yeah. I don't know if you heard the audio because it might be muted on my stream. Purely just to stop echoes. If you heard the audio, but yeah, I 100% agree what you said there. With in the original, there he properly shouted at the pyramid heads, and that one there, he like just sort of says it to himself. I see that now.
And then if you hear the music, the da-dun, 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 like it, you can barely hear that in the remake at all.
And he's there, literally screaming no, like at
me. So now I'm not saying the voice acting was better, but I like the delivery of those lines better.
Yeah, that I like better. The cry out and the fall to the knees and hitting the floor.
The fists
I like
on
that better. Yeah,
that was
I
much
like that better in the remake.
I agree.
Yeah, much better. Yeah, I like this as well. The blood. I like that. That's really bad that I like
I was expecting more blood though.
Oh
honestly,
yeah.
Like she just got skewered.
Yeah. Okay, okay. I'm glad I watched this. I forgot how fucking badass the original was.
Yeah.
It literally,
but I don't need you anymore.
Now it's time to end this. And he turns around and he's like, oh, shit, okay.
Yeah.
Right. I still really like the cutscene in the remake, but yeah, that was... Yeah.
Yeah. And
that's fucking cool in that one.
But there are actually a lot of cutscenes like this, where it's like, whether you like the voice acting in the original or not, I think they knew more of the motivations of the characters and what they would do.
Yeah.
Because like this is delving, we're moving more and more into the voice acting area here, which is fine. And this, like I said earlier, just with a lot of things, the longer this game goes on, the more things kind of build up that I think they dropped the ball on. Where, like for example, the voice actor for Mary Maria, and this could be a directional thing. I'm not saying the voice actor is the end. Is the person for this decision, but it felt like her lines closer to the end were being rushed, especially with like the final letter, the full Mary's letter to James. There were a lot of lines that I felt like she was just kind of reading through, rather than like, this is me writing this to my husband, I'm dying, this is how I would say it. It felt more like I'm just reading this with emotion. And that happened. Yeah.
I was going to say, I'm glad you brought that particular part up, because that's something that I wanted to highlight with Mary at the end.
Yeah.
In the original, like you say, with the letter.
That was gut-wrenching in the original.
the line when she said "You made me so happy"
Yeah.
in the original, she's properly choking up, like absolutely distraught. And in the remake, you didn't have that emotion at all.
I couldn't find it. I was looking for it, but I'm almost positive that when I read that the voice actress in the original actually was crying, breaking down while she was reading that, and she got it in one take. As
Jeez.
I couldn't find proof of it, so if I'm wrong, don't butcher me or anything. But I'm pretty sure that's actually what happened with that.
Okay.
And you could tell. I mean, like when she was like, "I'm so sorry for what I've done to you, for what I've done to us." It's like, God, that hurts. That actually hurts. Listening to her say that, and same with the emotion when you're walking down that hall and you're hearing her talk to James, but you don't hear James talk back, and she starts out yelling at him and like, "I don't want any damn flowers," and then immediately like, "James, don't go." It's like you could feel all of that emotion. You could feel the anger, you could feel the anguish, you could feel the sadness, all of that.
Yes.
And I think that was missing from this version of the game.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree. That's one of the voice acting parts I really wanted to highlight, that final letter, definitely. Trying to see what else I've got. Oh. Again, voice acting was another one that I didn't really get time to make notes on.
Okay.
But I know I might just start. You feel free to obviously do more voice acting, but I'm just gonna dive into like what I thought of the characters in the remake again because of my obliviousness.
Mine'll mix. So yeah,
okay.
like, do we just want to like go like per like character and talk about them from each perspective and then move on to the next? So like start with James.
That's fine. Yeah. So obviously my points here are all from the remake again because I've because
you're a bad fan right now.
I'm a bad fan. I am the most casual fan ever. I thought as a character in the remake, I thought the voice actor did a really great job. I thought that for newcomers of the game who are completely oblivious to the story, as much as they were spoon-fed, like you say, in the flower shop, in all the bars and everything of like this guy who's like completely like sort of like
he's walking around spaced out, like
spaced out, angry, smashing things, and like without all that, I think the game really sets him up as the person you can sympathize if you are an outsider, like a brand new person. You know, he comes across as harmless, soft-spoken, like a widower that like you do feel sorry for and you are sort of rooting for. Like, I really hope you find your wife. Like, you get that. But as the game goes on, I think in the remake his descent is handled really well.
Yeah.
Like, you start to see more of his qualities of who he actually is.
Yeah.
I feel like his personality comes out a little bit more in the remake. Like, again, the one thing that I loved that, again, Reddit, thank you. I did not know that in the Eddie fight, his hands were shaking, even towards the fight or when he actually kills Eddie. I didn't know. And I just thought that, again, like, to us, that's like, oh my god, up until this point, he's just killed monsters. He's now actually killed a human.
Yeah.
And he's like fucking freaking out.
Yeah.
But again, I think, his descent's handled really well. You start seeing more of his personality try and slip out. But obviously, it's all sort of held back. But as obviously the game goes and you know more and more, then obviously he's sort of revealed as like he's the bad guy.
Yeah.
I just handled really well. I can't fault the actor for him. I think James as a character, not the best character for me in the remake, but I thought he handled well.
Gotcha. So I agree. I mean, I thought he was the best voice actor
Okay.
in the game because he's except for that one line that we already just discussed, I didn't see any issues or any weird qualities or deliveries with any of his lines. Um, I thought he did a really good job because I have, unlike you, I have played the HD collection and I've heard the voice acting on that game. Huh. Uh,
Is that worse?
it's
Better?
it's worse than the original. It's worse than everything.
Oh. Okay.
It is horrible, and they got professional voice actors for it. Yeah,
Right, okay.
it was so bad. I don't care what anyone says. I disliked those voices so much.
Okay.
Um, because like the original James, I think the original voice actor for James has Silent Hill 2 as his sole credit. Like they pulled a dude off the street and were like, "Hey,
Yeah.
you're a regular guy. Can you do this?" And he's like, "Sure." um, so there are lines in there where it's weird, but it also a lot of the lines just sound like a guy. You know, if you go back and listen to his first lines about how he got a letter from his late wife Mary, like I have no issues with his voice acting there. There are bits here and there where it's like that's awkward, but
Hmm.
they were also kind of going for something different with that game. Um, but I mean, as a character, like James, there is one part that was added into the game that I disliked that they with his dialogue, and it was
Okay.
something where he actually, I think that it was the where the new Angela scene by the statue in the park, where he was
Yes.
trying to convince her to leave Silent Hill with him, and it's like that's completely against his whole character.
Yeah.
He's here for his dead wife. He told Eddie to fuck off when he wanted to leave. Why is he willing to go now? He hasn't found his wife. He still thinks he didn't kill her. Like that's completely against his character. Why are you now? And it's not like Angela was asking him. He brought it up. Like that makes no fucking sense. Stop adding shit. Like stop. Just do what the original did. If you can't do it right, don't do it.
Yeah.
So that's the only thing that annoyed me about his character specifically was that seemed very out of place for him.
Okay.
But otherwise, yeah, he was. I felt he was probably the most consistent and best voice actor in the game for me.
I might bring that one up.
Yeah, sure.
Um, I just want the. I don't want all of them. I just want the. Okay, I'm just gonna click on this one and skip to the scene that
Yeah.
I want because I think that's the best way I'm gonna do it. Okay, cool. Again, massive apologies for there'll be no audio.
Take that, Twitch. Yeah, just put on subtitles. They'll figure it out. Oh wait, no, we're blocking the subtitles. Never mind.
Yeah. Oh, the subtitles aren't even on for this guy's playthrough.
Oh.
That's criminal. I wonder.
I don't think she's here anymore, James. my mama? She doesn't want to see me anymore.
Why would you think that? Anyway, I'm happy to see you.
Happy to see me?
Alive, I mean.
Oh. Yeah. I better get going.
You still don't want me to go with you? If we stick together, we might just make it out of here.
Out of where?
This town. Silent Hill.
No, it's fine.
Okay. Oh, you didn't happen to see a little girl around here, did you?
A little girl?
Yeah, Angela? Are you all right? Angela?
No. Please. You shouldn't be here.
Angela, it's okay.
No, don't touch me!
Okay. Right. So what you said that it was out of character for him there.
Where he's talking about, are you sure you don't want us to go together? We can make it out of Silent Hill.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That's the part that I was like, that doesn't make sense for his character, because
Yeah.
either he's there for his wife and he's not looking to get out, or he's in the back of his mind, like, it's not official, but a lot of most people say In Water is the canon ending. Like, James went to Silent Hill at the place where him and his wife spent their best years after he killed her to kill himself. And he has no reason to leave if that's the case. The only reason he'd have to leave is by the end of the game if he was found a way to forgive himself for what he did. And we're not at that point So he's not looking to leave Silent Hill. So that's the part that, I mean, it's not like egregious, but it's like, that shouldn't be there.
Yeah, no, I get you. I get you with that. Yeah, like you say, at that point, it's not until the tape in the hotel that he should be looking to leave the town at all. At that point, then it's either he's come to terms with it, or like you say, the canon ending is he's accepted what he's done. He's got over his grief, and then he just realizes, like you say, with that one, that he just doesn't want to go on, and that's the reason he went there in the first place.
Yeah. Mimi said, I agree, don't touch the story and lore and gameplay and voices and locations and enemies, just a remake. That's why I love the Dead Space remake. Don't do anything. Just give me the game again.
Yeah. I can't wait for... Oh, I really hope they do more Dead Space. Just quickly jumping on Dead Space. I really hope they remake Dead Space 2.
I mean, it sounds like they're not gonna, but...
We can dream.
Yeah. Dream away. All right, who you want to talk about next?
Right, so next I've got Mary/Maria.
Okay.
Because it's the same person, pretty much.
Yeah, true.
Again, I think Maria... I don't know, I felt like whilst Maria... she did the whole point of her is like she was really flirty. She like oozed sort of like sexuality,
Yeah.
which is like her point. I don't think some of her lines were as hard hitting as they were in the original.
Agree. Yeah.
With Mary, and again with Mary, I've put not really much to say because she's not in the game a whole lot, really. The character Mary, let's say.
Yeah.
But I've put that like the voice actress who did Mary, I thought as Mary, again, I thought it was really good. But I have mentioned that whilst the sort of Restless Dream speech is like iconic, the letter at the end, I have mentioned that point where I was like, certain lines lacked emotion, like the "You made me so happy," like the choking up and the crying. But no, I think again, Maria. I'll just say Maria more so than Mary. Maria again, not my. I don't think the best character. Still had some good scenes. Still did what she needed to do, but I think she was probably the character who lacked the most.
Yeah.
Out of all of them.
I agree. Yeah, there were a lot of awkward lines. She threw in "I'm just joking" or "just kidding" a lot when it didn't make a whole lot of sense. Like out of nowhere, like in the Heaven's Night, like she'd go up on the pole and like, "I'm just joking."
Oh,
it's like,
yeah.
What? Like that's a weird thing to say. Like,
yeah.
But
it
yeah,
would have been better for her not to say that at all because that's the point. That's who she is. That's who she should be.
Yeah, like or say like oh come on, and just leave it at that. Like, just be like,
just leave it at that. Literally, do the little sort of, little playful sort of dance around the pole.
Yeah,
and then just like walk off the stage.
Or like no, all right,
yeah,
something,
okay,
anything else.
yeah.
But like she kept doing it over and over. Like when they first met, when she like touched him and said, I forget what she said, but it was like, oh, just joking. It's like, you keep saying that. That word, you keep using it. I don't think it means what you think it means.
Yeah.
But then just weighs some of how they worded things or the delivery changed some of the intent. I can't think of any specific instances off the top of my head, but yeah, with her, she's another one where it's like, I think and it very well could be the directing. I don't know.
Yes.
Like,
I think a lot of my issues with the line deliveries and stuff of some of the actors and actresses are more so aimed at the directing rather than like themselves.
Hey, can we do that one more time? Know? I feel like a few of those would have been improved with just one more take. But it was like the earlier voice acting. It's weird. It's like the earlier stuff was more spot on, and then it kind of got I don't even know what the term would be. It loosened up at the end or something. I don't know. But yeah, she was one of the main ones where it's like the first impressions really good, really spot on. And then the further it went on, the more I was like, this seems weird. That seems weird too. This seems really weird.
I thought I don't know. A couple things stuck out for me with her. I thought when you figured out the lady in the painting puzzle,
right?
And she was really sort of hesitant.
She didn't want to go die.
Yeah. It was like, I thought that was a bit strange. I don't think she did that in the original.
She did not. I don't know if this was their intent, and I'm not going to spoil it if it was. But it might have to do with the Born from a Wish sub-scenario that you didn't play in the original game. Because there's also a hint to that in the remake. where you come across, I think it's the Birch Mansion.
Okay.
I don't know if you, I don't recall seeing you come across that or not. So I don't know if you even saw that. But she has a bit of dialogue there, and you could argue that that scene with the lady in the painting makes sense based off of that. But I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know if
I
that's the
will.
intent or if they're trying to do something different.
Okay. No, I will. I will pick a stream soon and go back and just play
Yeah,
Boardroom a Wish.
it's
I don't know
it's
if I
short.
need
It's
to
like,
install it or anything, or
yeah, it's like 20, 30 minutes. It's nothing.
okay. No, that's yeah.
So.
I'll definitely do that soon. Okay, Angela, I've got next.
Okay.
Yeah, I definitely thought. Yeah, with all the added sort of notes and hints, that it was more heartbreaking this time around.
Yeah.
I think again, I've mentioned that I think her actress, whatever term we want to use, shines in the aftermath of the daddy fight. I
Yeah.
think probably the best scene with them. I can't remember why I noted this down. This has only been a few days ago that I made this note. I might need to bring the clip up. I've put that the scene in front of the mirror. I
Yeah.
don't think it was as good as the original.
There are parts to it where I would definitely agree. That was kind of a mixed bag for me.
Yeah.
Because some of it was, I think, better in this one, but there are other parts where I agree 100%. Like the original, I think the delivery was better in that one. I'm trying to think of the exact points that I thought the original was better. Because I remember mentioning it when I watched the stream, or
Yeah.
when I was streaming the game, rather. Um, I think it might have been
Don't
the
worry if
"Are
you
you
can't.
afraid" part, but I'm not sure exactly. Because like the are when she was like, "Are you afraid" in the original, and then "Oh, I'm sorry." It's like she was mocking him, but then it's like she realized and went back to her like timid nature almost.
Yeah.
And it didn't have quite the same impact in the remake. It there was less dynamic range between her emotions in the remake. She was more of a level emotion until you reach for the knife and she freaks out.
Yeah.
In the original one, she was almost bipolar. Like she'd be very timid and then mocking, and then she'd go back down, and she was kind of all over the place.
2 seconds.
Sure, sure.
Sorry.
No
Carry on.
worries. No, that was about all I had.
Okay.
But yeah, no, like I said, I thought she was probably second best performance
Yeah.
in the
Okay.
game as far as I'm concerned. Like she definitely had a different personality in this than the original.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
She was more withdrawn, more shy. Like in the additional scene that you had played, when she was like, "You're happy to see me," and she actually started getting exciting, and then he's like, "Well, that
was-
you're alive.
yeah.
Fucking calm
Yeah.
down." And she's like,
I was.
"Oh,
Yeah.
like
I was literally
that
just about
poor
to bring that up.
girl."
Yeah. Yeah. I
Like-
was when you mentioned that.
Yeah,
I
it's
was
like
gonna say like
for once in her life,
there's
she felt
moments-
like
yeah.
someone was happy to see her, and then you shit on that, James,
Yeah.
you dick. Jesus.
No, she's like you say, the original she was definitely like sort of like you say bipolar, but this one you can tell she's shy.
Yeah.
And the moment where she feels somewhat of a not a connection, but like someone he's genuinely like, seems somewhat caring towards
Yeah.
her. Like he gets really excited because that's what she's literally. She hasn't got anyone.
Yeah.
Like
No one.
of everything that she's been through, she's got no one,
Yep.
and it's just like, yeah, then you just
Yep.
shit on her, and then she just go back to her fucking what she was.
Yeah. Yeah.
No,
Nah.
yeah, I agree.
I mean, she's just like, as a character, she's the only, as far as I'm concerned, good person in this game. Like, yes,
Yes.
she did end up killing her father for good cause, frankly, but
Yes.
she's in Silent Hill because of how she feels about that. It's not because she's actually a bad person. She was getting out of a horrible situation. Whereas James, I mean, he could have just been a dick and left. He didn't have to kill his wife. Eddie, didn't have to, kill anyone or anything. Like, she's the only one who is a victim, a proper victim. And it sucks.
Yeah.
So.
No, definitely. She's the only somewhat innocent one out of
No.
everything. Okay, now on to one of my. I mean, I say one of my two.
Yeah.
There's two characters left. I thought these were. Angela's probably third. James and. In terms of characters rather than
Right.
voice acting.
Yeah.
Eddie and Laura for me were the two best characters.
Gotcha.
I think the new Eddie is perfect.
That's high praise.
A mixed bag of pathetic,
Yeah.
off-putting, funny, but at the same time, you throw that in a jug with a whole heaping mound of absolutely fucking terrifying.
Mix
to
it up.
be around.
Yeah.
Yeah. He manages to be all those things: pathetic, like off-putting, funny, but genuinely scary
Yeah.
to be around. Like, he's such a loose cannon in
Yeah.
every one of his cutscenes. Like, even when he's sitting there, even when you first meet him, not so much when you first meet him, but especially in the theater,
The
when
theater.
he's eating his ice cream.
Yeah.
He's literally giving off the vibes that he will stand up and he will rip your guts out in 2 seconds.
No.
Like, he was just, yeah. And I've already mentioned his fight is the best, one of the best fights in the game.
Yeah.
It's way more threatening, way more high stake than it was in the original, I think,
Yeah.
in terms of how easily you can die in that one. With how much damage he does to you as well. It's ridiculous.
Fucking aimbotting motherfucker. Dude, that guy has perfect aim. That dude's been practicing.
You mentioned, I thought you mentioned the one speech earlier in the freezer when he's like, it doesn't matter if you're this, that,
Yeah.
that you're all, doesn't matter when you're dead. I love that speech I thought the voice actor did a good job
Yeah.
because I remember that scene from the original. That's probably one of the only things I remember him saying, that and him eating his pizza in the original. That's probably the only things I remember. I'm going to quickly go over to Laura as well, so just do both of mine,
Sure.
and then you can just do as much as you want.
Okay.
Again, I thought Laura was such more of a brat this time around, but she was way more intelligent.
Yeah.
I think her voice actor was really, really good at not every line,
Yeah.
but certain scenes, especially in the hotel. I think she always made her line delivery so off-putting to talk to her.
Yeah.
Some of the lines that she delivered, especially like about Mary, it was more so in the hotel when her and James were, like, finally getting along somewhat.
Yeah.
Some of her lines were still really, really unnerving.
Yeah.
It was like talking to like a kid from The Shining. Like, that's the sort of vibe that she gives off.
Yeah.
Like, but no, for me, Eddie and Laura were the two best characters.
I 100% agree with Eddie is the best improved character.
Yes.
In the original, it was you met him, he's a dumb, awkward guy, and then prison, he's a fucking nut job, just like that.
Yeah.
No cause, nothing. In this one, you meet him at first, right? And then he's like, "Hey, do
Yes.
you want to? We can get out of this place. Come on." And you're like, "No,
Yeah,
I've got to
yeah.
look for someone." And you can tell right then, he's like, "Oh, okay, I've been rejected by you. You're just like everyone else." He doesn't say that,
Yes.
but you can tell.
Mm.
And then in the theater, where as soon as you're like, "I've seen you've got your appetite back," he puts down the ice cream, and you can just see he would take you out in a second. Like, he doesn't give a shit about
Yes.
you.
Yeah.
So that more gradual
Descent.
descent into
Yeah.
madness was so
100%.
better done.
Yeah.
The voice actor, that the first couple lines, it took some getting used to, because
Okay.
The pleading, like, I didn't do it, it was so, like, I don't know if it was like a typecast kind of thing, but I was like, that's weird. This is weird. It got better, but in some of the later ones, there was some odd deliveries here and there. But overall, I
Okay.
liked
Yeah.
Eddie. Like I said, I think he was the most improved character over the original game. The original game, it was just, he's goofy until he's wants to kill you,
Yeah.
which was weird. That was an odd thing in the
No,
original
I
game.
agree. Yeah.
Laura was fantastic. There's no way, I think, to get a good reading of the "I hate you, I hate you, I hate you" line.
Yeah.
You need to rewrite that shit, all right? It doesn't work. We've tried it. But she did a really good job. Like you said, she was, more intelligent. She had, I always find it funny how much people hate Laura in this game for hating a guy who killed her surrogate mother.
Yes.
What? Like, it's like, okay, she's a brat until you know the end of the game, but then
Yeah.
understandable, I would say, personally.
Oh god, yeah, 1,000,000%. Yeah.
Like,
There's a reason why she is. Yeah.
yeah. But like, one of, like, all of the, I'm gonna just do a quick aside. All of the characters fantastically modeled, by the way, and
Oh yeah.
emotive
Modeled, yes.
and everything.
Yes.
Like, amazingly done. I remember when we first watched the first, or when I watched the first trailer with Laura in it, I was like, holy shit! Like, she looks like a human being, and like,
Yeah.
what you would think she would actually look like in life. I do have an honorable mention for worst voice acting in the game.
Okay.
Which is the Jigsaw serial killer doctor tape recording.
Yes.
Jesus Christ. Could you just put a doctor? Why does he have to have a voice modulator on? What the fuck was that? Like, why? Why is that there? It makes no
That
goddamn
wasn't even because that was in the hospital.
Yeah.
And was there a voice recording at the end in the Otherworld hotel? Was that the Jigsaw doctor
See,
as well?
I did not get the recorder in the hotel.
Okay.
I think I missed
Okay,
that
yeah.
area because if it was in one of those rooms before you push the cart down in the hole, I missed it.
Yeah, it may have been. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Okay, that's fair enough.
I only
think it
remember
was
the one.
same
Yeah.
person. Yeah. No, I remember the one in the warden's office, whatever
Yeah.
it was. Yeah.
God, that was so
I
bad.
remember that one. Now.
I hated that.
Yeah.
As soon as it started playing, I was like, "Are you serious?"
It did catch me off guard as well
What?
when I first heard it.
Oh God, yeah, that was a mess. Jesus. No. But yeah, that's pretty much all I got for everything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's pretty much yeah. We've already mentioned about the fear factor.
Yeah.
About how obviously I didn't find the original game scary
Right.
fear. Unnerving and fearful, yeah, but shock horror, like, yeah, no. And I've just said it's really a sort of thought-provoking psychological experience rather than 3 and 4 where it was like, good God, they've upped the ante here with the horror.
Yeah. I mean, even 1 was scarier than 2, I thought.
Yeah, 1 was the crying in the bathroom.
Yeah.
Instantly scarier than majority of the original 2.
Dude, that's
that one little audio clip.
That's one of my favorite scares in all video games.
So it was the first thing, wasn't it? Was that the school? That was the first place you go.
It was the school. Yeah. It was the otherworld version of the school, but yeah.
Yeah.
It was the bathroom next to the teleporting bathroom.
Yes. And then I pretty much just got my closing notes now.
All right.
So where are we? So again, it's like, do I prefer the OG or the remake? And like I've mentioned, well, Go It offers, if I was to pick up one again now, and okay, rather than play it right away, if I was to pick one and only continue to play that one forever, like the other one doesn't exist for me.
Right.
That's the one I choose.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to read straight from my script here because I can't really ad-lib this. But yeah, I experienced a lot of emotions with the remake, but you know, like relief, shock, joy, horror, happiness, apprehension. And I actually put, I can't speak for the hardcore fans who have suffered through all the bad Silent Hill games to get to this one.
Yeah, yeah. You've never played Downpour, man. Yeah. Actually, neither have I.
The lowest of the low points.
Yeah.
I put the remake has respected the original, preserving mostly what was perfect. I think a few things have gone wrong.
Yeah.
Like I've mentioned. And changing and enhancing only what was necessary, which I think they have done. But for me, if I had to pick one, it would always be the original.
Yeah.
I think the magic of when I've played through that first one will never, ever be recaptured by a game. I don't think ever again.
Yeah.
Like, it was just so amazing to me. Fucking hell.
Getting choked up here.
Yeah.
That's so amazing.
Fucking cold. Really got rid of it. Christ, I've drunk a liter of water during this stream. Wow. Yeah. I forgot what I was saying. No, I think just how much I can't believe I'd slept on that game, particularly the second one. The second one is still my favorite of the originals by far.
Yeah.
And while I believe, the remake isn't perfect,
right?
But for someone going into, obviously, you've really sort of gritted down the points of. You will not agree with what I'm going to say here. They said, like, it came out, they announced it, like, okay, we're doing a remake. Okay, for me, when they've handed me this remake,
right,
I think this is going off all the trailers and all the worries and the apprehensions. I think this is as good as a remake of this game is going to get.
I mean, that's probably just factual, but yeah.
Yeah. But no, it is like...
Because they're not doing it again.
It could have... But like... It's
I know what you're saying.
This is probably the best that they could have done.
Yeah.
It could have been a whole lot worse.
It could have.
They could have completely destroyed it.
Yes.
And they didn't by... Because I've never played... I don't know what other games Bloober have done if they have. I've never played any of their games.
Yeah.
So I was going into them like an unknown developer. Good God, help. Like,
right.
What's going to happen?
Yeah.
And obviously the biggest fear was too many changes, wrong changes.
Right.
Not respecting the original, the source material, but not, well, pretty much source material because it's there. Literally just, you have it here. Make it look pretty.
Yeah.
And there you go.
Yeah.
You've got the game.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah. they conserved the soul of it mostly, and they mostly chose well what to keep and what to innovate on.
Right.
But it's not perfect by any means. But no, for me, if I had to pick between the two, the original
Yeah.
would always win.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with the original. Like the I mean, the proof of that for me is I got the remake with the 48-hour or whatever it was early access, right? I played through the game. I started playing it a second time, and I've gotten to the apartment, and I haven't played it since.
Okay.
And it's not that I don't want to play it, I just don't feel a need. And when I played the original game, like as soon as I found out there were multiple endings, I played that game over and over and over. Which also helped that it was a bit of a shorter game. It helped with the replayability.
Yes.
I'm part of what, I mean, you can save scum, obviously, but part of the reason I don't want to keep playing it is because I don't want to do some of these sections. I don't want to do the timed horde mode. I don't want to go through and unlock the 3 chains or whatever it is to open up the box in the hospital. You know, there are just areas of the game where I'm like, that's a slog. Do I really want to spend, you know, I mean, if you add up all the endings, including the extra ones they've apparently added, do I want to spend another 70, 80 hours playing through this game over and over and over? Not really.
No, I get you. No.
And, you know, my biggest thing was that Silent Hill 2, I wouldn't say it stood alone, but it was one of the earlier ones, and it's one of the more notable ones, video games that bucked a lot of video game trends. The first one, Konami basically took a team that was unknown, like a B team, and said, make Resident Evil. That's what's popular right now. And they said, sure, it'll kind of look like it, but fuck you, we're going to do something different. And they did.
Yeah.
And people loved it. And then with Silent Hill 2, they really did something different. And there is very little video gamey anything to it. You know, the puzzles are fucking weird. Like, especially Silent Hill 3 hard mode.
Fucking don't fucking remind me of the Shakespeare, the fucking cannibal eating the different parts of the face or whatever it was. And yeah, what the fuck?
Yep. Like, people hadn't seen shit like that, and you know, it had action, it had you shooting enemies, but that wasn't the main point of it. The main point was the story and the puzzles, and it scared you in a much different way than any other game did. And I think in the remake, like I said, they got 90% of the way there. But I feel like either Bloober didn't fully understand what makes Silent Hill special, or they don't fully understand what makes psychological horror like Silent Hill special. Because I think a lot of that was lost in translation by just the fact that they thought, you know, oh, this is really cool. Let's keep doing that throughout the entire game. It's like, that's you lose a lot in doing something like that. You know, try eating pizza every day for the rest of your life. You're gonna hate pizza pretty fucking soon.
No.
But honestly, like if they had, they could have honestly just done what Resident Evil Remake did on the GameCube, which has been released on every other console since. They did add a little bit onto that but it was mostly just Resident Evil with a coat of paint. And that's still considered one of the greatest remakes ever made.
Yeah.
Because like everything they added didn't affect any of the other story or gameplay or anything else. It just added a little bit to it.
Yes.
If they had been able to do that with this, my opinion would be different. But they went so far off of what the original was that I think it went the other way and took away some.
Yeah.
So so yeah, if I had to pick, I would say the original. But if I had played this for the first time, no understanding of the original never existed, fantastic game. It's a great game. It is.
Yeah. Yeah. 1,000,000%.
Yeah. Like that. And if you disagree with any of the criticism, that's fine. My criticism doesn't take away from anyone's opinion of it. You know, just like this game doesn't ruin the original, because at least for me, the original's still there. The only problem is Konami currently does not have a way for anyone to play the original the way it should have been played. That's the biggest issue with this, is people who don't own Silent Hill 2 can't legally go and play the original. So, you know, that's the biggest disappointment.
Without spending a
lot of money.
Yeah. Like getting a whatever console you want to play it on, and a copy of the game now, like a disc copy of the game, is probably hella expensive now.
Yeah. No, I'm using it as part of my retirement fund. Yeah. No, they're expensive.
Yeah.
And if they, you know, had been able to release the original properly on the HD collection, it would be a different story.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, you're left with these options. But yeah, very good game. Has some downfalls to it. I hope, if nothing else, if Bloober Team continues with this and is given, whether it's a remake of an existing Silent Hill or a brand new story, I hope they take some of the criticisms. Hopefully they've heard some that we've expressed here. Not from us, but from other people, because they're not here. Yeah. But hopefully they've heard that, they've taken it, and they've understood some of that, and they improve upon it.
No, I agree.
But I wouldn't be opposed to them doing more Silent Hill stuff, and that's probably the highest praise they're going to get from me. Is like, they could do another one.
It could be like, I forgot their name, the developers who remade Battlefront, and they were me thinking, please don't fucking touch Star Wars again. And then all of a sudden they remade Bounty Hunter. And they made that a fucking masterpiece now.
I think they're the ones who did Legacy of Kain as well. Okay. So I'm kind of concerned about that. Like, oh god, mixed history.
Like, they're doing more. I'll have to rewatch that trailer, because I'm sure you showed me that trailer. I'd be terrified if I was you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because the score is currently 1-1 with, I want to say it's Aspire.
It might be.
Like, I don't mind talking shit about them. They're never gonna know who I am. Like, it's Aspire. Yeah. So for me, with Star Wars, they are 1-1.
Yeah.
Let me have a look. It might not be. Aspire might be the original developers. Let me quickly load up Steam. Battlefront Collection. I just want to see the...
Yeah, it's Aspire.
Aspire,
because it is, they're doing Soul Reaver remaster as well. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So for me, with them doing the Star Wars stuff, it's 1-1. They're now taking one of my favorite Star Wars games of all time. As much as people probably won't agree with this, they are redoing Jedi power battles, and I
Yeah.
don't know whether to be excited or fucking terrified at what they're going to do to
Well,
that.
that's the one that we were talking about when Ryan was in your chat. That it only has couch co-op, right? Or no?
Yes, that's already like big problem number one. Like, surely you could add a feature to do online co-op.
Sorry, we're a new
Then it'd be
studio. We
perfect.
don't know how to do netcode yet.
Yeah.
Clearly
But,
after Battlefront.
Yeah. Oh God, yeah. Maybe they shouldn't touch multiplayer again.
Yep. I was gonna
Um,
say they're like, we learned our lesson. It's fine. Couch co-op's good.
no, just oh yeah, it probably is the fucking safest bet for them.
Yeah.
But no, I agree where you're coming from. Of like for me now, I'm like 50-50 with them because they've had one good, one bad. But like, if Bloober take all the criticism on board, that they are no doubt going to hear
Yeah.
from some form of entity, from like consumer feedback, Reddit. I'm sure they probably all use Reddit.
Yeah.
Who doesn't use Reddit these days?
Just us boomers.
I would be happy for them to do more Silent Hill, whether it's a remake or whether they make their own entry. I'd be very interested if they did their own.
I'd be more
Their take on the
concerned if
Silent
they did
Hill.
thell. Their own. Because
I'd be a mixture of both. I'd be like, what the hell are they doing? Also, is this going to be good? Is this
'Cause-
going to be bad?
from what I understand, so I know a few games that they've done. They've done Layers of Fear.
Okay.
They've done the medium.
The median. Oh, okay. Yeah.
So they did those. And they're not known for subtlety. And that's kind of Silent Hill's thing, is subtlety. Or at least in the original games. And then it got handed off to other developers. And they just beat the hell out of that. That, like, when you start throwing Pyramid Head in every Silent Hill game, subtlety is lost.
Yeah.
But, I mean, if they're able to tone that stuff down and refine that, I think they'll be fine. But, and I mean, like, you don't need that for every game, but I think Silent Hill needs to have some of that. But I'm also of the opinion of, like, Konami's direction with Silent Hill, where it's the Silent Hill phenomenon and it happens all over the world and it's big enough that it's written in newspapers. I hate it. So it's like, just make a different franchise. Why you gotta shit on Silent Hill? We don't need Silent Hill in Japan. It's in fucking Maine. Come on. Like, get your own thing. But
no, I think I'd rather them do another remake
yeah,
if they take all the feedback on board rather than
I
doing
probably-
their own thing.
that's probably what I'd lean with as well. Yeah.
But I'd be like you say, 4 is the one I definitely agree with, the room for the most improvement. So they can.
Yeah.
It was hard for them to take regardably everyone's favorite of the originals,
Yeah.
most people's favorite, and
Yeah.
try and work on that. But they would go to the one that was very divisive and then try and make that better.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, if they had done the changes in this game instead to 4, I would not be nearly as critical of it, I'm sure. Because, I mean,
This was
Silent Hill 4 had a lot of backtracking to begin with. I mean, the last half of the game was just revisiting areas and things like that. Not necessarily, well, some people say to poor effect, but I mean, I'd be more lenient on it because that game was more action oriented. They were trying new things. It made sense for it. With this, it's like, no, they nailed this down. Why are you fucking with it?
Yeah.
So,
I actually, speaking of Silent Hill 4, I did not realize until afterwards that I skipped some of the game.
did you?
Unintentionally, like, must have. Sorry, my phone went off. We turned it upside down. So the building world,
Right.
I think you had to collect pieces of Walter's childhood. There was like
Gotcha.
a ball. There was like, I don't know if there was something with a pet store, if there was like a cat or something.
Right.
I think the idea was you had to collect these pieces. I think one of them was like a football or a basketball or whatever. I think I found one.
Gotcha.
And you get to a point where you have the two elevators and then you have the fence.
Okay.
And obviously, Eileen can't. You need to do something, I think, for Eileen to get around with you.
Gotcha.
I somehow managed to skip that entire need of finding all these childhood items and ended up on the other side of the fence with Eileen. And I was able to progress down to the bar at the bottom where you have the billboard number thing that you have to call. I don't know
That's
how
funny.
the fuck it happened, but it's only because I rewatched someone play through Silent Hill 4.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, I don't fucking remember doing this. Because there was a part when he was in the pet store and then he picked something up and he turned around and the pet store was like completely decimated and destroyed.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it was like the symbolism of a car like had gone into the pet store or something.
Right.
But I was like, where the fuck was I didn't do this.
Just glitched right through the
So
fence.
I glitched and got through the whole, well, not the whole, the second half of the building world. Like, I did everything properly. I saw the cutscene with Walter and Kid Walter. Where
Right.
he sort of kidnaps him.
Right.
And that was what would have been the spawn point of Cynthia, but I sworded her in the subway, so she never
Yeah.
came back, which was I'm fucking glad about.
She is the creepiest ghost.
Yes, 1,000,000%. But no, and then after that, I didn't have to do this with these fucking, because they went down into the bar and they were putting like the pool ball on the table and everything and
Oh, yeah.
whatever, and I was like, I just dialed the number and I got the code.
You are.
Like,
You have the best luck with fucking Silent Hill. You know, I was
the only
kind
one
of.
that, yeah, the only one that really punished me was 3.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. Yeah. Nearing the end of the Shakespeare puzzle, I felt a little bad. I was like, am I being too mean to it?
An hour and a half.
Yeah, I know.
An hour and a half that took me. I remember watching the VOD back and thought, this has been a 2.5-hour stream, and I've done what I eventually watched someone play through like a speed run. They did in like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And it took me 2.5 hours.
Dude, I remember telling you, I was like, you're not going to get through more than half an hour of this game without help. There's no fucking way. And you were like, oh shit, you were serious? Like, this is the first one?
I remember you warning me about the first puzzle in this game is like the notoriously worst puzzle in the whole series.
Yes. It is the puzzle that
Fucking ends all puzzles.
people will restart in normal or easy puzzle mode for. They'll be like, and the developers had to have known it because they put it so early in the game. They're like, okay, if this is too hard, we don't want people to return the fucking game. So do it within 30 minutes, no longer, so that they can get back to it really quick. Yeah.
Literally on the fandom sort of wiki website for 3. Look, because I forgot the other puzzles. Obviously, the keypad was the fucking face thing. The tarot card thing wasn't too bad.
No.
A lot of the others were fine. I don't think I ever did this one. Was this?
Which one?
Oh, the Royal Flush. An optional puzzle. After completing the game at least once, start an extra new game on hard. Oh, okay, that's why.
Yeah.
That's
there was one. I don't know if I told you because when we were watching it, I was hinting at it. But if you play Silent Hill 3 with a Silent Hill 2 save, then there is an Easter egg interaction with a toilet where Heather looks at a clogged toilet, and it'll ask you, "Do you want to, go diving into it?" And you
Yeah.
can say yes, and she's like, oh no, and then she looks at the camera and she's like, who in their right mind would do something so disgusting? Like completely breaking the fourth wall. It's so good. It's like, yeah, James.
Oh,
But also
that.
in Silent Hill 4, I was bummed that I missed the playthrough because there are phone numbers that you can dial in Silent Hill 4, one of them being Konami's official actual helpline back in the day.
Okay.
And someone will answer it being like, hello, you've called, Konami support. Oh, I'm seeing that you're calling from Silent Hill. I'm sorry, there's nothing we can do for you. And they hang up.
Wow.
It's so good. There's a couple other ones that you can call, and they've got unique little lines and everything. You should
Okay.
look them up sometime because they're pretty funny.
No, I will. No, this is the thing. I've missed a lot of this by only playing the games once. That's amazing. That there's other numbers you can call. No, I didn't know that.
Oh yeah. I don't know at what point it allows you to start doing those, but yeah, it's
I love
funny.
My YouTube homepage now is literally just like Silent Hill. That's all it is now.
We see you're obsessed with Silent Hill. Would you like more?
Oh Christ.
Oh. Mimi did say, you know what made the game way better? You guys playing it.
Aww.
That was a little while ago. But thank you, Mimi.
Yeah, thank you, Mimi.
Let's see here.
Just checking.
Dude, we've been talking about Silent Hill 2 for 3.5 hours.
I'm very proud. I'm very proud of us. I was worried like, when we first started talking that I thought, oh my god, we're gonna get like through all our points in like 40 minutes.
Oh hell no, dude! I could do this all day.
I'm amazed that we've got 4 hours if you include the setup time.
That is true. That was a long set. We did discuss slightly beforehand, but goddamn cameras.
No, I've enjoyed this.
Yeah. No, I don't know. There's so much depth to these games that it's just endlessly interesting for me to talk about it. So unfortunately I do need to get to bed because I got work in like 7 hours. But
I am doing a little bit of overtime in the morning, so I am also getting up in about 7 hours.
Hey. Nice. All right. Well, we're on the same page, so I'm not going to delay this any longer than I have to. But yeah, no, it was awesome. I'm going to leave you, Gothic, and so is Sam. I'm sorry. But thank you, everyone, for being here.
No, yeah.
I know this was not a very interactive stream, but I hope everyone took something away from it.
Oh, yeah. Probably even got a few clips from that.
Here, let me
I
get
really want to go back. I really want to go back and clip. Next time I see Pyramid Head, I'm gonna do him. That was just the worst fucking choice of words I ever could have done.
That was a good one. I'm gonna get a few extra cents from ads here before I. Stream is longer than anything Sam has ever does, says Jelly.
She is aware that I have done 2 6.5-hour charity streams before, right?
I don't think she was talking about streams.
Oh. I'm going to bed. She's not even here, and I'm still getting bullied.
I know. I can't believe Effie hasn't chimed in.
I know, I'm waiting for it to pop up in my chat like, oh yeah, that's true.
Sam plays a video game 2 hours barely.
I know, I literally streamed for like 2.5 hours, and here I am just waffling, and we've gone for more than 3.5 hours.
Nah. I both miss and don't miss the days where I could do like a full 8 hours of streaming. Like, it was nice to have that kind of time, but man, you get tired of talking after a while.
Oh, I'm working to do really long streams. That's why I've literally just been doing 2.5 hours max, and then like, you know what, I'm mentally defeated now.
Joey says that's why I'm just silent, so she can stream longer. Hey, Zeroki. Zeroki says someone mentioned Peter Franzen and Effie will show up. It's her bat signal. Well, I said it. Now I'm waiting.
She pops up there, I'll be amazed.
That would be hilarious.
Oh.
Oh.
Say it's nearly 2 a.m. for her. I can't imagine she's still awake.
Yeah. The hottest celebrity in Finland. It didn't work, Jelly. No, I'm sorry.
I thought that was me when I flew over there. I've lost my title.
Man, you got to get on Vikings, and then you'll reclaim it. Just got to take Peter Franzen's head in that show. Telling you, grow out your hair, you'll do it, dude.
I don't know if that's the guy we saw at the concert. How do we spell his name? Peter. I'm gonna guess.
Franzen.
Thank you. I'm sure it is. Oh, I really fucking wish.
He was in Alan Wake 2. He was the twin.
Yes. I am 99.9% sure that's who me and Effie saw at the Coldplay concert.
Oh, God,
Literally, like I need to double check with her. I'm sure it was, because we were at the end of our row, and next to our row was one of the sort of like doorways leading out to all the seats.
Gotcha.
And all of us saw. Fuck me. All of a sudden, you saw. I'm so glad that my stuttering has started now at the end and not fucking all the way through the screen. All of a sudden, you saw like this guy and like a sort of like entourage come out.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure she pointed out to me that it was him. Now that you said the name, I'll double check with her. Because I'm just like, yeah, I didn't have a clue who it was until she explained. God, my poor throat.
Yeah. No, especially with you getting over a cold. I'm sure didn't do you any favors.
Glad I'm feeling. Oh no, I feel a lot better today than I did yesterday.
That's good.
Yesterday I was literally asleep for most of the evening.
Yeah.
So no, I'm glad. I was literally downing painkillers. Like, I'm not missing this tonight.
Jesus.
Well, I'm powering through.
Come hell or high water. We're going through Silent Hill. All right. But unfortunately, I do need to go. But yeah, no, this was fun.
Me too.
Yeah,
no.
Good times. Yeah, I
really
like doing
enjoyed it.
joint reviews.
Yeah,
we'll have to do more. Add in
no, definitely.
Special guests. All right.
I really need to. You playing Alan Wake? I still need to play the second DLC.
Yeah.
I need to do that soon.
Yeah.
Where are you up to? Quickly, because I haven't watched your VOD yet.
So I am. Let's see. I got to the town. I met the sheriff. I just ended chapter 1.
Okay.
So it was
So you've
right
been
after
to-
fighting the dead guy, the bloated guy.
Okay, so Yes. So your whole VOD are
Yeah.
the 2 hours of the game that I do not remember because I was incredibly drunk when I played.
There you go. Yeah. As Jelly
in
said, we
the
saw the pee-pee.
in in the stream that shall not be named and has
Yes.
been permanently deleted from my
The
mind forever.
and yet the GIF
The
lives on.
I still can't believe how fucking drunk I was in that stream. When I watched the VOD the next day, it was literally near. I remember the first bit of actually going down into like the woods where the body was, like around the
Yeah.
lake, and everything after that, leaving, going back to the town, going into like the sort of the morgue area.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't know. I literally remember the only thing that sticks out in my mind with that one scene, that one area, was I don't know what the fuck I was talking about. I don't know if I was in the morgue or I was in Saga's mine place.
Oh,
But I
okay.
remember like walking around and all of a sudden I just said, maybe this is why I'm a bad son. And I
Oh,
think
right.
the stream got really deep. I can't remember what I said. And I will never know what I said. I don't know what I was talking about.
I remember you saying that, like
don't
after
know
the
why.
fact, because I wasn't unfortunately there for the stream.
I don't know.
That's great, man.
Oh, never
Yeah.
ever getting that drunk again. Never.
Yeah.
And not streaming either.
Yeah.
Streaming and literally going out, having a games and drinks night, coming home, and then having a whole nother bottle of wine to myself.
Oh my
was
God.
Not a good
No.
idea.
Yeah. No, I learned a while ago not to drink and stream. Nothing to the effect where I had to delete the VOD, but looking back on it, I was like, that is what too much looks like.
Yeah. It wouldn't have been so bad if it was something where I didn't really need to pay attention to the game. If I'd literally
Yeah.
loaded up like Mario Kart or like Call of Duty or something, it would have been fine. But a game
Yeah.
that I've been super fucking hyped for,
Yeah.
and one that you really, really need to pay attention to every little thing, and
Yeah.
then I go and do that.
Well, if you watch my VOD, you're gonna hear a lot of "in the ghetto." I was just
okay.
the whole fucking stream. I thought it cracked me up. And then I got Jelly doing it to Saroki. Like, she was just apparently screaming it out of the bathroom and shit. In the ghetto. Don't start again, says Saroki, for fuck's sake. I don't know any of the other words to that entire song. I just know it in the ghetto.
No. Yeah, I about the same for me.
All right.
Oh, God. Okay.
Thank you, everyone. Thanks, Obama.
Yeah, thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone, for being here. This was very different for me. Sam's more of a chatter than I am. So
Oh, I'm not.
his side is probably... Are you kidding me? How many times have you sat on your just chatting screen for like an hour and a half? Get the fuck out of here. I'm going for like 15 minutes, so I was like, this is weird. We need to play something.
Yeah. It's because my stream come in and start talking about cumsicles, and then we have a whole sort of tangent on.
Oh God,
why
don't
they're
bring
not
that
good
into my
ideas.
stream, please. Hopefully Mimi
will
already
pipe up.
left.
You guys can say Mimi or pipe up now. Someone say cumsicle.
No, Mimi's still here. God damn it. Yet Gothic is the one to begin. All right.
Yeah, there we go. Now it's time to leave.
Yeah, but you know,
Oh.
if you liked the just chatting, you know, don't forget to smash that like button. Please don't do that. Oh right, I was squeaking.
I've gone deaf.
I am so sorry.
That was horrid.
I am so sorry.
That was awful.
I need to
Like
put some
someone
oil on
coming-
this thing.
Like Freddy Krueger just walked in and just scratched a fucking blackboard.
Like,
That's all it was.
I moved it and I kept moving it until I saw your face and I was like, oh shit. That's right, we're live. All right. Yeah, I'm gonna head to bed.
yeah.
Thank you everyone for
Yeah,
being here.
me
Thank
too.
you, Sam, for
Yeah.
doing this. I do
No, thank
appreciate
you.
it.
No, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah. We'll have to do
Yeah.
something like this sometime. I
Yeah,
don't know
yeah,
what for,
definitely.
but
Yeah, we'll figure something out.
yeah. We'll
Okay.
do it for Sam's favorite game of all time next.
Oh, yes.
Oh, now I'm curious.
Concord.
Oh God. Let's go deep diving into Fortnite.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, you put me on the spot now.
Yeah, everyone's gonna be waiting with bated breath.
Yeah, OG2 is up there with Silent Hill. Alan Wake 2 is up there. My favorite games. If we're going like way back, I don't know.
In the ghetto.
Oh shit. I'll have to think about that. The thing is, growing up, all I ever used to play was like fucking Ratchet and Clank.
And I haven't played a single one of them.
Okay.
I mean, I've got some. Maybe I'll have to play through some after I finish Alan Wake.
Oh my god, yeah, do it.
All right. That's a plan.
Okay. Right. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, thank you, Mo. Everyone, thank you for being here. I hope you've all enjoyed. I will be returning probably over the weekend. I have no fucking idea what to play now. I'll think of something. Maybe a one-off sort of, let's move away from the horror for a little bit. Let's do something light-hearted, and then I'll get back on. I need to get the Lake House. I'm going to be playing that.
No.
So, yeah. Okay. Take care, everyone. I'll see you all soon. Have a good night.
Peace.
Bye.